But no, man. We all just met you. I think. Well, me and Chris met you at a Friendsgiving last week.
Yep.
Hernon's been knowing you, but I think the minute we heard you were a scientist, it's the minute we said we gotta have you on.
Oh yeah, you know what? It's a funny story. I did introduce you that way to them.
Yeah,
we were talking outside.
That's the first thing
day.
he said.
I was like, "Oh, we got a scientist here, bro. We can figure out how to fry the turkey. It's fine." They're
I thought it was a joke.
I was like, "No,
He's
it's Alan the scientist.
Alan
it's
the
fine."
scientist.
So what kind of scientist are you, or what do you do?
I got my bachelor's degree in medical lab science.
Okay.
Basically that just means working in a medical lab.
Yeah.
So whenever a doctor thinks that a person has some sort of disease, they'll draw samples of blood. And basically what I do for my profession is I take those samples of blood and I analyze what sort of chemicals are inside of it, what's the concentration of what they have. You know, think of anything, insulin, glucose, total protein, albumin, like
Dang.
anything like that.
Cholesterol.
Yeah.
Oh
Shit, y'all saw that? Someone just fell. Yeah, anything like that is when it comes to chemicals inside of the blood, I test them for that. And I also grab the blood and look at it in the microscope and try to determine what's wrong with the red blood cells, with the white blood cells. There's a lot of information that that can give you in terms of pathology, the size of the cells, the color of the cells.
Yeah, that
do
was
they have any
ask you.
irregularities?
Like, how long have you been doing it? Like, do you have, like when you do something for long enough, I guess my question is, like, can you tell the moment that you kind of see it in the vial? Let's say without the X-ray.
Absolutely.
Like the consistency, is it chunkier than other one? What?
You ever judge it? Like, dang,
not obviously
bacon.
Blood was this? God, slow down on that bacon.
No, yeah, you can tell a lot from just looking at the blood, and that's not something that comes naturally. You kind of have to do it for a little while. I haven't even been doing it for that long. So
how long have you been doing it for?
So I started my job July 2023. A couple of months. I've been doing it for
this guy,
right? He just finished, and he's like,
so you got your bachelor's in, is it medical?
No, he got
medical
his
lab science.
Medical lab, and then you got your
master's.
Yeah, microbiology or
molecular biology.
Molecular biology.
So that's mumbo jumbo science.
Dumb that down.
No.
That's just, it means DNA science. Specifically what parts of our DNA contribute to illnesses, right? So any sort of illness, any sort of congenital disease, any sort of it applies to microbiology too, because viruses and bacteria and yeasts and fungi, they all have genomes that you can find through molecular testing. Cancer is a huge one.
Really?
A lot of cancer within the molecular section. Actually, my project for my master's, I had to do a research project. It was
find a new cancer. It's crazy.
I found a new way of detecting stomach cancer. Non-squamous colorectal cancer. I designed an assay in order to be able to determine people who have it and people who don't, or at least one mutation. Cancer is a very complicated beast.
Yeah,
there's a lot of things that can cause it. A lot of different mutations within the blood. So I just found one way of doing it.
Yeah.
And after you complete that project, so that's, you can essentially use that on people now to see if they can,
or is it like they examine it like, okay, this is possible.
It's more like that.
Right,
It's
this is another.
It's just academia.
Okay.
I put it out. It actually got published.
They're gonna make a foundation.
The
Allen Cancer Foundation.
The Run for the Cure.
Run for the
5K.
But yeah, I just put it out there. It's just academia. It's information.
Where did you go
to?
Where did you go to college?
Texas Tech.
Texas Tech.
Rechem Tech, baby. I'm all about it. I love Texas Tech.
What's out there?
What's your slogan?
Is it Rechem?
Oh, is that?
Yeah, you do a little gun up. Which I'm from Mexico originally. I was born I was born in San Diego. I was raised in Mexico, in a place where there's no guns.
You said for 19 years, right?
I was there 2004 to 2017, and that's when
you
I
were
went
raised
to Texas Tech.
literally.
Yeah, I don't really remember much prior to like being in Mexico. That's kind of like my whole upbringing
That's
was
insane.
up there.
That's really interesting.
And it's just so weird because like over there, we obviously don't have the Second Amendment, right? It's the Second Amendment, right?
The
good one.
right to bear arms.
Yeah, we don't have that. So just like coming here to America, where not only guns are so accessible, but like there's like
People walking around with
Like
a
red, white, and blue.
and it's the slogan of the school. I love that. I love that.
Right, we're patriotic.
Look at that.
America.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, it's a big difference, right? I mean,
Yeah. Just coming here and it's like, oh, it's suddenly the slogan of like
Yeah.
my school. I got to put my gun up.
And you went to
Yeah.
Texas too, baby.
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
like
Damn, that's a
it's
huge change.
real howdy over there. Like it's real cowboy over there.
Why
in
didn't
Lubbock.
you want to go to like a university in Mexico?
Well,
And I know there's obvious reasons, maybe some advanced ways, but were you always focused to go into the United States for university, or?
no, I was, if I'm being completely honest, I was pretty lost in that time of my life. I did apply to some universities in Mexico. I got accepted into some. I got rejected in some others. I remember my number one choice, I got rejected. And I was so confident that I was going to get in. And that it was like there was no other alternative. And then I got the email like, oh, sorry, but we've decided.
Hey, brother.
Not accepted.
like,
at that point, I was
Born
like,
in the U.S.
I was
eh?
like, well,
They're
shit.
Nah.
I guess
That's
I have to-
crazy. Pass on somebody born in the U.S.
Yeah, I would have been like, come on, bro.
Yeah, so I just decided to do a complete 180. My brother was already at Texas Tech.
Oh,
Okay.
See, I didn't know
Yeah.
you had.
I didn't know you had a
siblings.
brother.
Yeah, yeah,
Is he
yeah.
a scientist too?
No, he's an engineer.
Oh, okay.
Already, I just
Yeah.
shooting for the stars over here. Like, well, I can't be engineer.
Oh, yeah.
I'll be a-
Does
I'll
Does
be
he drive a
scientist.
Does he drive a Tesla too?
No. He drives an Audi.
Okay.
All right, let's go.
These guys.
Getting
Yeah.
impressed. Left and
Show him how
right.
to show him how to
Is
get
he an
impression.
older brother? Right? I'm
Yeah,
assuming?
He's a year
How old
and a
is he?
half older.
All right.
He's 97.
Really? He looks-
97.
When I met him, he looked a little younger.
You think?
97 years
To be
old.
honest.
I think it's because like you met
got
me when
me.
I had my beard, and he can't grow a beard. But like if you met me with like my beard shaved, like he looks a little older. Not gonna lie.
I didn't even
Wait,
know.
how old are you?
I am. How old am I? I'm 25.
No, that
Okay.
happens to
25.
me.
He's
Yeah.
26. How old are you, Joe?
Yeah, he's 20. He's 97. He's
20.
26.
Yeah, so he's 26.
Yeah.
Robbing the
That's
cradle
crazy.
over there.
Were you always interested in like biology and medical?
Yeah.
Since okay.
I used to want to be a doctor actually.
Ah.
And I took the MCAT. I actually did really good for the MCAT. The MCAT, for anybody who doesn't know, it's like the medical college admissions test.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a hard exam.
Huh.
Like it covers so many different topics from, so many different science disciplines, and it just meshes it all together into one like really wordy exam.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they give you entire paragraphs, and you have to read it and analyze it and just answer questions from that. And I took the exam. I studied for it during COVID, like during lockdown. That was my entire thing. Some people, watch shows. Some people, did all this other stuff during COVID, like learn new skills.
Yeah.
I was just like reading books, man. I was just like on the books.
Yeah, nothing else to do. Just
Nothing
like,
else to do, man. So
Dedicated.
that's all I did. I did pretty well on the MCAT. But in the process of studying for the MCAT, I realized that I didn't want to go to medical school because, like,
what was the
You think it's like a time frame? Like how
Well,
long it is?
I think
the depth?
part of it.
That's
I
just
guess
a
I
lot.
hadn't
that
like
could have been another reason. Yeah.
I hadn't realized how much of a commitment it was. So like your
You have
life.
commitment issues?
I'm
kidding.
Not at all. No.
That was good.
It's just, I guess I didn't realize that, when you're in your 20s, early 30s, that's like the peak of your life. If you
Yeah.
think about it, that's when you're out there making the most amount of friends. That's when you're out there socializing. That's when you're building your life.
That's when you're figuring yourself out.
Everything
That's
out.
right.
Everything
Yeah.
out. And, hats off to people that want to do medical school and like have that path decided in life.
Yeah.
I thought that was me, but then I realized that it wasn't, and that, you only have one life, and I don't want to waste it. I don't want to waste the best years of my life
Okay.
studying and just being inside like I was during COVID. Because if I had gone to medical school, it would have just been the same thing as me in COVID. Wake
Just
up, study,
Yeah.
go to class, go to bed.
For years, man.
For
I mean,
years.
there's this
For
people
years.
people on Instagram that I still follow to this day that are still in medical school.
Mhm.
And that's
Trying
if you
to
don't
finish,
that's if
bro.
you don't fail, right?
And that's if you
Mhm.
don't give up. I feel like there's a certain point where like I'm all in on this.
Yeah.
I have no choice
It's
but to go back.
so hard to get into medical school that I think that's what the majority of the people's like mentality is. Like, I've made it this far, I can't quit anymore.
Well, I
That's
mean,
insane.
I feel like I think you're still doing all right.
Yeah, dude.
You're. I feel like you're. For some reason, I see you as like a mad scientist. Like, what kind of science is working at 11:30 p.m.?
Yeah, whenever he
like,
said scientist, I'm like scientist. You know,
It's
like,
like,
you know,
what-
you
what
don't
are you guys
hear that
working on
every
over
day.
like, what is your daily job consist of? Like, I know you talked about analyzing blood and
Yeah.
it's in there, but is there anything more? Like, do you get more in depth or get creative? Like, I wonder what happens, or conspiracies
Well,
about it, or
Well, yeah. In my current job, I don't really have the capacity to do a lot of like science on my own.
Yeah.
But I've tried. You know, I've
he has
done
he has a little rat
experiments
lab
here
at
and
home?
there.
He's like, I got some blood samples.
Do y'all know what CRISPR is by any chance?
No.
No.
So it's this protein that is, made by bacteria, and it's used by them as an immune system. Basically, what it does is it cuts up little pieces of DNA and it puts it into their own DNA. So next time something happens to them, they know, like, they have the genetic code to know how to like deal with foreign threat.
Oh.
Us humans realized what that does, and we have adapted it in order to modify DNA. And we can modify any sort of DNA, bacterial DNA, plant DNA, animal DNA, our own DNA. It's currently illegal to use it on humans.
I wonder why.
But there's literally like an endless possibility of things that you can do with it. And the coolest thing is that you can buy kits for CRISPR for editing DNA, like $3,000.
Oh,
That's all you need.
isn't that crazy?
Really?
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand that.
Yeah.
Where would you buy this from? Like market or?
There's this
Google.
guy.
Google.
Oh man.
There's a guy.
Yeah, there's a guy.
There's a guy who knows a guy that knows this guy.
So this guy, or I guess he's a girl now. So she
Oh,
is a trans. She used to work for NASA. She used to be a scientist that was like in charge of making sure that life is viable in Mars if we were to ever like to go out
Get
there. Really crazy, like DNA scientist, PhD, and however many years doing this shit. He quit NASA and then he started his own company on how to edit DNA, how to teach people how to do it as well.
So by edit DNA, like, do you mean changing your DNA of having your offsprings?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's
Is that the
Oh,
one-
okay. Is it like simple?
What?
Like, I want to have, like, let's say,
I want my child to have blue eyes.
exactly.
Type like that.
Like that type shit? Or is it like
Wow.
Spider-Man, like shoot webs?
Well, there's different levels to it. I think the level that most people want in this world
Yeah.
is to be able to change a baby's DNA in order for them to be not to be born with any diseases.
Wait, so is this
Oh,
legal?
like a wholesome, like a
Ah.
wholesome.
It's legal.
Not like get superpowers.
Yes, it's not.
We're over here thinking
Not
about,
look
like,
good. Not
Well,
like as in
well,
just come out.
Here's the thing.
That's an extra fee.
It's like I think of it like a spectrum, right? Because obviously you start like, okay, I don't want my kid to have cancer. I don't want my kid to have cystic fibrosis. I don't want my kid to be born deaf. Right? Those are easy.
What about
Yeah.
like height?
Yeah. So then it moves on to like, all right, I want my kid to be able to build muscle easier. I want my kid to have a uniform face structure. I want my kid to have,
Oh wow.
be tall. And then you move from, health related issues to cosmetic. And it's
And
just like,
so
where
on.
do you draw the line? I
Mm-hmm.
think that's like the biggest issue with it. And that's why.
Is that why you think the slippery slope is?
Mhm.
Of
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because
Mm.
you're over here creating your own sim, creating your own person,
Yeah.
selecting the traits, selecting the attributes to build. I mean, I know you can kind of do that when you're choosing your partner,
yeah.
but that's rolling the dice, baby. That's like what you give, what you get. But when people get real picky, I mean, imagine like people with infinite amount of money, right? Get like a super genius baby.
You can create a whole freaking like a whole
Supreme
family
race.
of like elites, like everyone's.
There's also an interesting case that I heard about that if two people who are deaf, they have a kid, a lot of times they want their kid to be deaf too.
Oh,
Because they
no,
want-
we're getting
stop.
Yeah, because they want their kid to grow up with the same, like, I guess, lifestyle as their parents, and they
teach
just
them sign language.
both of them know like that's all they know. Both parents grew up deaf, so they just think like, oh, my kid's gonna be deaf, like no problem.
They go ahead and just throw that in there.
Yeah,
Just,
yeah.
That's
So
crazy.
is that like, obviously people have the right to, I think
Yeah.
people should have the right to do not whatever they want with their kid, but look out for their best interests. But like, is that their best interest?
That's tough, huh?
Yeah. Honestly,
That's messed up.
I've never looked at it to the point where I would say, I want my kid to not have this disease, to not have that. I've always looked at it. I was like, oh,
Only positives, right? I want them to have
to,
this.
I want to have that,
a
like
massive
cosmetic.
He's like, I want a model.
You know.
He's like, I want season tickets.
So
But
why
go ahead.
why would you say it's illegal though? Why would you think it's illegal?
Well, it's new. It's new. They barely discovered CRISPR
Mhm.
not even 10 years ago. It's a brand new thing.
Oh.
Medical ethics, I think, would probably be the number one reason why it's illegal.
Yeah.
The fact that it's just a slippery slope, as I said, like people don't want. It kind of goes back to like Hitler, I guess. Eugenics.
That's what I was thinking.
You
when
know,
I
they
said
want to create the perfect race in order. You know, everyone has their own view of what a perfect race is.
Right.
But
Yeah.
Also, do you think, as humans, whenever we feel like we know everything and we put too much of our own hand into something, it always comes out fucked up?
oh
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If we get too involved, it's like we're not perfect, so we're gonna mess it up.
Yep.
Do you have a personal opinion about that? Like, do you think we should not mess the cycle of life and let life be as it is, or do you think we should, if we have the intelligence for it, hey, let's give it a shot?
Hey man, I'm the scientist. No, I just I love it. I love the fact that we are able to do it, and obviously there should be like, I personally don't think that you should be able to change the cosmetics of your kid.
You shouldn't.
I don't think so.
Okay.
But for diseases, yes, that should definitely be like. Why wouldn't it? Why would you want your kid to be born with like cystic fibrosis?
That makes sense.
Why would you want them to have like a propensity to have cancer?
Is it possible to change that DNA in an existing person already living?
He's like taking notes.
Yeah.
He's like,
What?
You know, like,
So there's two different ways to edit your DNA. There are, I guess, two different cell populations that you can do it. It's like your cells, the ones that are in your body that contain your genetic code, and then your somatic cells. So like the cells that are going to be used to reproduce. Somatic cells are your cells. Germ cells are the cells.
okay, good. I was about to say, I think you messed up.
Yeah, my bad.
you better correct the
Oh,
scientist.
man.
Actually,
shit.
I don't think that's the right one.
Like, can we cut that out?
When he said my bad, I was like,
yeah,
what?
cut it out.
I took it for 100% fact, bro. Whatever you say.
Nah, bro. Yeah. So your germ cells are the cells that are gonna make up your kids, and really the best way to use CRISPR is for your germ cells, because if you start off modifying the DNA of one cell and it grows into billions of cells, you know that all the cells are gonna contain the alteration that you've made. Whereas if you try to modify your own cells, some of the cells are gonna
Fight
be
back,
able
you
to.
think, or what?
They're not gonna fight back, but it's just by the way that the body works and circulation works, and just the pharmacodynamics of like the drugs that you take, or the modifications that you try to do. It's not gonna reach like all your cells. Like it'll miss some of them.
Oh, I get what you're saying.
But
Yeah,
you can still get like probably like 60-70% of your cells to like, if you were to do it like right now.
Yeah.
If you were to do it as a kid, maybe like 90%. If you were to do it as like right now,
That's crazy.
that's 100% cells.
That's cool. Like, where does it stop? You know, like the advancement of like science and like what the fuck you could do to yourself.
I think I'm to the point where it just
Shit, when I heard you could get your knees done, that shit blew my mind. I was like, what?
You get your height done.
2 inches taller, bro.
That is
You were
crazy.
changing your DNA.
When will it stop?
What do you think about the attention span changing? Do you really think it's gonna mess us up?
Like
with like
social
TikTok?
media?
Yeah, with like social media and
it's
stuff.
It's definitely messing with our brain chemistry, and
Yeah.
I think it's gonna affect an entire generation. I think we're gonna have to find new ways to, I guess, educate kids, because I think that's my main thing about it. TikTok and Instagram Reels and all these, videos of instant gratification. Everything has to be like, like
Instant.
if you watch a video, like, can't be longer than 20 seconds because you already lost me.
People gonna skim through this podcast. Like,
cut it off. Highlights.
So, honestly, yeah.
And I think
That's
that
why
is
we
a
got to
big
start
deal.
making clips too.
That is a big
yeah.
thing. I feel like, do people even sit down for like movies anymore? Like,
It's yeah.
you know what I mean?
I
Like
know
maybe like a
people that
superhero
don't.
movie, but like some people just can't do it, man.
really?
And yeah, they
Mhm.
just say I just can't dedicate 2
Yeah, like
hours
honestly,
to-
I can't even eat without watching a YouTube.
Oh, you're an
bro.
iPad.
I gotta
He's
pull
an
up
iPad
YouTube.
kid.
You're an
over here.
iPad kid.
Yeah.
I'm not, but like I made myself one.
You just told me you're like, oh, dude, I forgot my iPad. You're an
yeah,
iPad kid.
yeah.
I can't look stuff up.
It's so weird. You guys don't do that. I gotta have some YouTube in front of me while I'm
No,
eating.
I
Like, I can't
I
eat.
kind of agree with that.
Yeah.
Like sometimes when I sit down, I'm alone. Like I gotta have a show on or something.
Yeah, but you know, whenever
Yeah.
you don't, do you feel like a normal human being sometimes? Whenever I like I just have my plate in front of me and I'm eating and I'm like, wow, this is nice. I'm like, wow, like no distraction, just focus on my
when you're
meal.
alone,
I guess
Yeah, even better.
I can't do it. I
you
can't
can
do
like
it.
You
depend
can't just
on-
focus on the flavors.
it can
Joni,
de-
can you?
I get bored. I'm just kind of sitting there. I'm just like start thinking.
Like this just ass. Well, make it make it better, bro. Like enjoy the food.
How comfortable are you with like just being alone by yourself?
Um,
Like having your own thoughts.
it honestly, it took me a while to be comfortable alone.
Mm-hmm.
But after a moment, I think I feel like I had to embrace it. Like, you know what? It's normal to be like this.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like my thoughts are always racing, and I'm just bouncing off the walls back and forth. And I think now, I kind of just like, I feel fortunate that I have all these racing thoughts and everything because I just keep going with it.
Yeah.
I know I've spoken about it before on this podcast, but sometimes I get a little panicky because I'm just like, when is it ever gonna stop? When am I gonna stop thinking about like, or when am I gonna be satisfied about? You know, just keep going and going and going. But you know, being around people, you guys and everything, it kind of brings me down. And once sometimes it sounds stupid of saying it, but I get a little nervous or afraid when my friends leave, or I'm alone because I'm just like, what am I gonna do?
Back
You
to
know,
being alone.
Yeah, and just my
Back
thoughts,
to these
my
Back to these thoughts.
But I think I've gotten better at it. Xanax helps. No, I'm kidding. No,
I get what you're saying. Like it grounds you
yeah,
being with other people.
Yeah, it definitely. And you know, you mentioned about eating and just enjoying it. You know, that's technically in a way of grounding yourself to reality. You know, because you're back, you're not zoning into something. So I think I've had to learn how to ground myself a lot.
Well, for you, one time I mean, and I'm sure a lot of people do this, but like, so Rudy lived in Colorado for like a year, almost 2.
Yeah.
By himself. So like, man, we spent
That's
like almost
crazy.
Like by
every
yourself, totally.
we spent
Yeah.
like almost every day together, like for years. And then he's like, I'm leaving, and we were all shook, like, oh,
That's crazy.
shit.
That's a crazy
Like,
jump,
what the
dude.
heck?
Just
But
moved
even
out
for
there.
him to just go by himself, doesn't really know anybody over
I
there.
didn't know nobody out there.
And then he was just like, he was doing on his own. And then he would tell me, he's like, I went to a restaurant today by myself, asked for a table of 1. He's like, I felt weird. He's like, but then you started embracing it. And
Oh.
he would eat by himself, table of 1 and eat.
It's
and
like
just,
Dude,
you go to
I-
a restaurant and it's like, hey, can I have a table of 1?
you know what I
Loser.
mean? Yeah, like I feel like
Get a little of this
that is-
guy.
and everybody's head is kind of like, dude, I can't go ask for a table of 1.
Dude,
Yeah.
you know,
Look
I
at
think
that.
it's probably worse than that. Going to the movie theater and being like,
No.
no ticket.
It's the best.
What?
It's the best because you're on your own timeline. You know, I at first, yes, it was weird going to a restaurant, sitting there by yourself is weird.
Yeah.
You know, going to a bar or a club
Mm.
by yourself. How do you tell people like
Look at this
like
loser.
like if you go up to some, let's say I'm gonna talk to a girl, you know, and be like, hey, who are you here with? Like, oh, I'm by myself.
She's like, yeah, right.
It's like, I'm here with that guy. And then you like walk over to where you're pointing.
But no, it came to the point where I was just like super comfortable of being alone, where I would take solo trips across the U.S. So I would go to Miami by myself,
Oh, shit.
and I was out there, and I was just, I mean, I was just in my own timeline because I love the beach, and I was out there, and I was in the beach for like 6 hours, and no one could tell me, hey, let's go here or let's go there. No, it was just me and.
And then after that,
Ultimate
hungry.
peace,
Babe, I'm
man.
tired. Babe, I'm.
Right,
And then you get to go to wherever you want to go eat after.
Right,
You get to
right.
go to.
Or if I'm
anywhere.
tired, like, hey, I'm just gonna chill.
Yeah.
You know, but it did take me a good minute to get used to it. But I feel like it's also dangerous to fall into that of being too comfortable because then you don't want to let anybody in your piece.
I can see that.
No one
Yeah.
into the schedule, disrupt the schedule.
Yeah, And there's still times where I catch myself. I'm like, oh crap.
I wish I was alone or something.
No,
type
no, no,
shit?
no, no, not even that. But I'm like, for example, like now I have a
Well,
girlfriend. that-
because you're still within the first year of living
yeah.
together. I told
Yeah.
you how I went through that.
So yeah, and it takes a while to adapt. Like, hey, I gotta let this person know that I'm gonna be doing this or whatnot.
Or you feel guilty that you're like, I'm
Right.
doing what I normally do. And then I'm like, oh shit. I have somebody like right next to me, like
yeah,
that I'm kind of ignoring. And at the, in
but
the
it's not
beginning-
even it's
but
like
not
accidental
intentional.
ignoring. Yeah, it's not intentional. But yeah, it took me a while. I feel now I'm pretty balanced. I think.
Like you time and then together.
Right.
You time and together. Yeah,
Right.
dude, it's all a balance.
But I don't know. I may have to get my DNA for my
You know what?
child enhanced.
You know, I forgot that we were speaking at the Friendsgiving. You told me that, again, I'm not quoting you, but fairly confident that you could know at least the basics on how to clone. Like, let's say like an
for sure.
animal.
No,
like, is that
that's
right?
easy. Yeah, that's easy.
So it's not hard.
It's
So,
not.
yeah,
no,
it's
it
easy.
really isn't.
You said who's doing it right now?
Oh man, I can't tell you the company that does it, but
No.
there's-
Like, is there like an animal? Like, isn't it like the A&M dog or
Yeah, the first animal that they started with was a sheep, Dolly the sheep.
Dolly?
They cloned her.
Why is sheep? Like, is it just?
I think
random?
it's just the animal they chose. I can't tell you exactly
Mm.
why.
Spin the wheel.
It's
You right
it's
there.
quite simple though. Like you take the DNA of one, let's say you have one sheep that you want to clone, right?
Yeah.
You take their DNA, and then you split their DNA into two. One half goes to an egg that hasn't, they take a sheep egg
Yeah.
and they take out all the DNA, and you put half of the DNA that you extracted into it, and then you do the same with the sperm cell. You take, a regular sperm cell, dump out the DNA that's in it, and put the other half of the DNA. Fertilize it, either in the animal or in a test tube, and that will create one cell that's exactly the same as the cell that you just extracted. Just
Damn.
this cell, you can put it into the uterine wall of the sheep you want to clone, just any sheep, really, the surrogate, and it'll get pregnant, and it'll.
Up to what point of that process does it become illegal?
It's not.
I don't think
It's
it's
not.
because it's an animal. I don't think it.
Yeah, humans,
Matters.
it's illegal.
Because imagine, I was gonna say, right? So the sheep is born, and then the sheep is like, I'm brand new. Well, you're not.
It's like the Virgin
Like
Mary
you're,
for a sheep.
it's like you're not
Yeah, have a
really
baby.
brand new. You're version 2.0.
You're a clone.
Imagine if a person was. What would you say that mean? I mean, it's not technically a clone, but like a twin.
Yeah, I mean, genetically, they're twins. Yeah.
They're just
Wow.
twins. They're siblings.
How recent is the discovery of cloning? How long have we been doing it exactly?
Well,
Do you know?
theoretically, we've known about it for at least since the 60s, man. Like,
Jeez.
we've
You think
known
it's
about
been
it.
done, like
I feel
behind
like
the
it has.
scenes,
I think
and it's now
'Cause
coming up?
You
to
made
like
it sound so
normalized?
simple.
it's been attempted before. I
Okay.
don't have any doubt that it's been attempted. but-
Kanye.
Just the human body is just more complex. I'm
No, I mean,
not even.
not even,
Okay.
dude. Like it's the same process with a cat, a sheep, a dog, human.
That's
we're
so
all
crazy.
we're all the same. We all come from a sperm
Mhm.
and an egg that's
Bro,
fertilized.
If I was like some evil guy, I would like clone people to make a crazy ass army.
Dude,
You'd
maybe-
walk around just poking people. You'd be like,
Yeah, I'm just
Just
like,
be like, I got you.
"Dawg, look at this
It's like you-
6'2" guy.
a jacked
I'm gonna
guy.
make a whole army out of this guy.
dude, or you make a bunch of Tom Brady's. It's like I'll sell you the DNA
I have
of Tom Brady.
I have the legal right. Oh my god!
You want
like,
your child
do you
to be
have
Tom
a
Brady?
do you have a do you have an egg ready? Like you want TB12 DNA, bro? That's
That's
insane.
crazy.
Mhm.
So can you? I don't know if you're allowed to talk about this, but I remember you were telling me about testing for strep throat.
Yeah,
Could you tell me about that process? I remember.
yeah.
Will they swab your throat? Or?
Yeah, man.
I've done that.
I doubt my manager's gonna watch this podcast, so I can just talk about it.
No, just give me the.
Yeah, you don't.
the-
I don't
just
want
give
you
me
to
like
just in
how
case, yeah.
how you would if it was possible.
Oh, well, have you guys ever seen like the plates that are used to grow bacteria?
Yes,
It's like made out of like a jelly.
I think I've seen a TikTok about it.
Yeah, so there's different things that you can put in this jelly that are like selective for certain bacteria, right? Sometimes you want to grow this bacteria, sometimes you want to grow this bacteria. Strep in particular has a protein inside of it that breaks down blood, right? So there's this one plate that we have. It's made out of blood, and if you grow something on it,
whose blood?
it's a sheep. Sheep blood, actually.
What's up with
Okay.
sheep?
Interesting. Yeah,
Why
they're-
is
telling
sheep getting
you,
the bad rap?
It cannot be random. There
Yeah,
has to
I
be a
know,
reason why
There's
they
a
did.
specific reason.
So yeah, it's
So they
sheep's-
use they get somebody's sample and put it in sheep blood.
yeah. So
you're
you
saying.
you swab somebody's like throat because strep is usually found, strep throat.
It's found in Rudy. Rudy's patient zero.
Yeah, I get
Dude
strep throat.
fucking
Like,
gets strep
Actually?
every year.
yeah, really bad.
Oh man,
He's like,
that
actually,
sucks,
all
man.
right, let's get the fuck out of here.
Oh, yeah.
So theoretically, let's say you got strep throat, right?
Okay.
I would take a cotton swab and I would go, swab your tonsils because
Right.
that's usually where it's found. Swab your tonsils and I'd rub it all over this plate, right? Which is, again, made out of sheep's blood.
Okay.
And I will put it in an incubator, which is like a fridge, but warm. And you
Oven.
let it grow out for
A warm
An
fridge.
oven.
A warm
An
fridge.
oven.
So it just keeps it at a constant temperature.
It keeps
right?
it at human
At
temperature,
room
37
90s.
degrees Celsius.
How much?
Gotcha.
I like how you said Celsius.
Yeah.
No, this is
Sorry, can you give us
America.
Fahrenheit, please?
Oh man, what is
Yeah.
it, like 98?
90
America.
Come on,
98
put that
degrees.
eagle.
Like, what
noise
the
again.
fuck is a kilometer?
What the fuck is this?
Yeah.
What is Celsius? What is Celsius?
Yes, we need inches. We need
Nah,
Fahrenheit.
We need
Fahrenheit.
miles,
No,
miles per hour.
Y'all don't want to expand to the Europeans.
Nah,
This is
come
for all our
on.
This is
Europeans out there.
America.
Yeah, so I put, I rub it on this jelly, basically,
Sheep blood.
sheep blood,
Yeah.
and I put it in the incubator. Takes about 24 hours to grow. I take it out after 24 hours, and I look at the plate. If the plate looks like wherever I swabbed it, wherever I streaked it, if it looks clear instead of red, then you know that there's a bacteria in there that can break down blood. And since I swabbed your throat, more than likely it's going to be strep throat.
Okay.
But I can't just go based on that. So I have to grab a little, because bacteria are going to grow into these little like bumps, like these little colonies, we
Yeah.
call them. So I take out a colony and I put it on a slide and I stain it in order to be able to visualize it better.
Mm-hmm.
And then I look at it under the microscope. Strep is a bacteria. You know how some bacteria are like, they kind of look like a football?
yeah.
Or
I've
others-
seen
They're
it,
like
yeah.
wiggling around.
Yeah, and others look like a circle. So strep throat is like a bunch of circles, like kind of look like a string of pearls. So that's basically what I'm looking at when I look in the microscope. Is there bacteria that look like a string of pearls? And how abundant is it? Because obviously there's going to be other bacteria within your like.
Sorry.
Hold on,
Jim.
got
bro.
someone
I think
coughing
we got some
over
Jonas
here.
Hold on, we got
coughing
strep
over
throat.
here.
We got strep throat over here.
live in person.
Oh no.
Yeah. Yeah, so if there's other bacteria on it in your mouth naturally, but
Yeah.
whenever you're sick, what ends up happening is that bacteria overwhelms all the other bacteria that are in your mouth. So if I was to look at it in the microscope and basically only see those like string of pearls, and I know for certain you have strep throat, if I see a mix of other bacteria and strep, then that means that you're coming out of the disease because your body's naturally replacing, is killing off the bacteria and it's replacing it with like your healthy mouth bacteria.
Okay. Now, you said 24 hours before you were to see this.
Yeah.
But when I go to the doctor and they swab me for strep throat, within minutes they tell me whether I'm positive or negative.
Mhm.
Is that a different test? Or
Yeah. There's other tests that they call them agglutination tests. It's basically an antibody that's fixed onto a piece of paper. And if you put the antibody also has like, it's attached to like a black charcoal that basically means that whenever you put strep, and if there's strep in that sample,
Mhm.
the antibodies are going to like attack it and the charcoal is going to like clump up together. So it'll tell you like immediately if you have it.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty
But
much.
it's kind of a slippery slope because there's a lot of different types of strep and you want to make sure that it's like you're getting the complete picture. So yeah, it'll tell you that, I guess immediately if you have it, but they'll likely want to have like additional tests just in case it's something else.
So the way you mentioned about editing DNA, can you edit? Because strep is it a virus or
It's a bacteria.
bacteria?
It's a bacteria.
So can you edit a bacteria to make it like a superior?
He's putting a pre-order in for his baby.
Like,
Can his baby
Yeah,
not get strep?
Pre-order
well,
a
no,
baby.
no.
And really for
I'm saying,
him,
like,
because then he's gonna get
No.
strep from the baby.
no, I'm saying like, can you edit strep to make it like super painful, like almost like a weapon?
Absolutely.
That took a
Absolutely.
180, bro. I thought you were trying to protect
No,
her, baby.
no,
You're trying
no.
to be a menace.
I'm saying like, can you like what? Can somebody
Fuck.
manipulate strep, the bacteria,
Why
and make
strep?
Bro, you know how horrible strep is?
No, I understand
Like,
that.
You want
imagine-
to make it worse.
bad, but
Imagine sending
he wants like super
strep out to the whole
strep.
community. Like, I know all you guys are
Shooting
suffering
people
right
with
now.
strep.
Bro, like,
If he's like, I'm immune.
I'm not the mad
You
scientist
just
here.
shoot
This
him with a
guy
little
wants to
squirt of
give,
strep.
Yeah, don't let him get you
This
a
is-
one-on-one because he'd probably be like, hey, bro.
This is why I'm not yeah. I
No,
was-
you'd be a
They didn't
mad
bless him
scientist,
with your
dude.
with your brain.
So
bro.
how easy is it to like hold on to a bacteria like that, manipulate it? I don't know. Send
Easy.
it out to a population.
Easy.
Envelopes.
It's honestly very scary how easy it is. I feel like I'm gonna go into a deep hole right now.
No, please go.
Fucking dive in, baby.
Oh man,
That's
I
where
have a
wanted to
theory
go. Yeah.
that
I was
COVID-
ready. I was ready. Hold on, let me get a little sip.
COVID was actually engineered by the Chinese. There's only so
Do you think it's like on accident or on purpose?
on accident. Well, on purpose,
Engineered
but
on purpose, but released
engineered
on
on
accident?
purpose. It's exactly it. Engineered on
Oh.
purpose, released on accident. Whenever something gets mutated in your DNA, most of the time it's gonna like it's a mutation, so it's not gonna be good.
Yeah.
Most of the time, we call those loss of function mutations within the DNA because whatever function that it had, if it's mutated, it's gonna lose it. Very few times, it's almost based on luck. Very few times you will change the DNA and it will make it gain a function. We call that gain of function research.
Okay.
Really, really simple. There's 3 labs in the world that do gain of function research on bacteria and on viruses. One's in Houston or Galveston. One's in Atlanta. Another one's in Wuhan.
Why? Why the spread?
To America,
we
one
got
China,
2
dude.
U.S. and then like,
Shit.
you know what? Let's go ahead and put one in
Freaking China
like
over
across
there.
in Wuhan, China.
You'd think
Who
that
knows?
Europe would have one.
Right,
I'm thinking
right.
about it.
Yeah, it's a pretty big
Dude,
stretch.
play the America #1, dude. That's why we have to over here.
right
Yeah,
here
give us 2 of them testing centers,
Yeah.
boy.
We're gonna hold these.
0 breaches.
0 failed test.
So
0 days since the last incident.
So it's interesting because the virus or the lab in Wuhan is specialized in gain of function research for coronaviruses,
Okay.
right? So not like coronaviruses aren't even found in that part of China. They're found in the south part of China, but they specialize in gain of function research in Wuhan. And for years before COVID happened, the labs in Atlanta and in Galveston, they had been like telling the International Commission, like, hey, this lab is not following the protocols in order to decontaminate.
Wuhan.
They'd been like complaining about it for years. That hey, the security here, and maybe not the security, but like the decontamination processes.
Yeah.
The measures that we take to not have these viruses, get taken home. They're
And
just
they were
not.
My man's
they're not
eating
doing
his lunch right
They
next
were like,
to
man,
Yeah,
they were
right,
like
right.
basically the equivalent of not washing your hands.
He's
Yeah.
like, well, that's another
Yeah.
corona right there.
He's like, when they throw away the samples, they're like, Kobe.
Kobe.
God.
Yeah. So
That's crazy.
obviously, it just makes sense to me, right? Like,
yeah.
oh no, there was a chocolate accident right next to the Willy Wonka factory. I wonder who it was. Like, it was obviously the Wuhan.
So you ever
They-
repeated,
they
you ever
blamed it
repeated
on the
reports.
on the
They-
fish net.
Yeah,
the fish.
on the market,
the
on
market
the meat
area,
market
right?
that they had.
And there's a
around
whole
there.
ass lab right next to it.
But it's because,
And
dude,
they-
like China doesn't want to accept.
Suspicious.
And the bats. And the bat. What
It
was
was
happening with the bat?
Oh, yeah,
It's
fuck
like
it.
a
I
bat,
forgot about that.
a
The
bat
bat's
fact-
like, why do you say fuck me for?
a bat fucked a pangoli or something. And then they
That's
ate
a
it.
crazy theory. Hey,
don't
some
know,
people
man.
believed it. Hernan believed it.
I said fuck bats for a good while.
Yeah.
When I first heard bats.
I mean,
so.
coronaviruses do come from bats, but
Look, see?
We-
there was some
but
some
There was some
good-
logic to
There's
it.
some
But,
truth
like,
to it.
we added it. Basically, we took that DNA. The reason why we do gain of function, or I don't do that shit, but
Yeah.
the reason why scientists
You're getting
do-
there.
the reason why they do gain of function mutations is because if we can make a virus more infectious, then we can know how to prevent it better.
Right.
So I think they were researching that. They weren't following
Protocol.
the proper protocols. Some employee got sick, and then it got released to the public. And then China didn't want to admit that
Fucked
They
up.
fucked up, so they just started
And
blaming everything.
until they got
but-
too
I don't
out of
blame 'em.
control, right? I mean, I wouldn't admit it
I-
either. I would have been like, oh,
Yeah.
I legit.
Damn,
I
that
would
shit's
not have
crazy.
So I don't think it was like
That market right there.
This dude did not wash his fucking hands.
You see what he's selling?
yeah. So I don't think it was like a
Dude, that's crazy,
malevolent-
man. No,
Yeah.
you're right. It's
Now,
They didn't come from like they weren't trying to get the world like sick. It just
it wasn't
happened.
malicious. It was
Yeah.
like fuck.
It was a mistake that they
Mhm.
don't want to own up to. But it was like
and they still haven't owned up to, right?
no.
Officially, I don't think they have.
Is the lab still open?
Fuck
Yeah, it's scary, dude.
That's
They're still
crazy.
making gain of function.
Like,
I
what do you
thi-
mean? It wasn't us.
I want to. I want to think. I'm not
they're,
sure.
like, they're like, prove it.
I want to think that they finally got like the security, the decontamination
Up to the
process.
level.
It's like if you
I
cause if you
hope
cause a
so.
global pandemic, that's the least you can do. I mean,
Yeah.
Hey, the guy working there. What's the worst that can happen? A fucking pandemic.
like, relax,
fucking dies, dude.
Relax,
Just
bro.
calm down.
Fine.
You're so paranoid.
Like nothing's gonna happen. Bro.
Now,
Nothing
okay.
happens.
Now getting to conspiracy theories. You said that Galveston and Atlanta were complaining to the International Commission about Wuhan not following protocols
Yeah.
about that. Do you think maybe they let it slip on purpose?
I wouldn't.
That's tough. That's
That's
a
tough.
slippery
That's tough.
slope to go
'Cause
into. You don't
I-
know
that-
the intentions.
You know,
of-
I
I
personally.
mean, why put a lab in Wuhan in the first place?
I mean, but that's probably established like years.
Yeah,
ago. You're talking
it's-
about
it's
like
been there.
years.
The
ago.
Wuhan Institute of Virology, it's like a bunch of research comes out of there, and they'll do like collaborations with like MIT, with Harvard. Like they're
Okay.
legit. Like
They're like all our
research lab.
past success. Give us for this one fucker. Relax.
yeah,
Imagine you're a Harvard student and you get assigned to Wuhan. Like,
fuck,
God damn it.
god damn, got to work
I
on
don't
COVID.
know, man. That's just it's kind of crazy that they haven't, or anybody, again, it hasn't officially came out, right? People kind of accepted the fact that it was engineered, but they don't like the point where.
Yeah.
So
There was a man who said Chinese virus. Who was that?
He said China.
China, the Wuhan flu.
So what do you think about how quick we made the cure or like the vaccines for COVID?
Cure?
That's funny
Not
you
the cure,
say
the
that,
vaccines,
man.
yeah.
Well,
Um,
let me.
what do
Are
you-
you vaccinated?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
I mean, are y'all? I don't want to.
Yeah, I am. I'm vaccinated.
I'm not.
I'm not.
Oh, really?
I'm not.
Well, can I ask you why?
I think personally, I felt like I could battle COVID. Just
Just like you do strep throat.
yeah.
Okay.
Honestly.
Sure, about to take you out before.
And I mean, I'll tell you what. If there was a vaccine in the very beginning of COVID, I might have done it because it was pretty scary.
Okay.
Everyone was dying. I remember like people were going to shopping centers and just filling up carts and everything.
Oh, the
and then-
toilet paper. I
yeah,
remember
and
that.
everything. So I'm like,
The essentials.
okay, this looks pretty serious. But once I started you start seeing a pattern of who's getting it. Occasionally it was overweight people or
Geriatrics.
Mhm,
Yeah.
or older individuals. So I'm just
Mhm.
like, if I get it, I think I'll be fine. And then you start thinking about how the vaccine was made, how it's pretty fast, the process of
Mhm.
it. So I'm just like, that's
I feel like there was a lot of political aspects behind it that made me a little bit uncomfortable about it. Just like
and the way they had to shove it down your throat.
not that.
Not
Just
that part.
no, not that part. It was more of the fact that they were like you need to do it.
Yeah,
you need-
shoving
you
it
need,
down
like,
your throat.
But like
Yeah.
no, just like to help like I guess if you want to call it that. I guess you could say that. But it wasn't more I guess
They
how
were
do I
all-
say it? They were worried about like the next individual, which I understand, right? It makes sense.
That I can get. Yeah, like if I was with someone who's older, or at more of a risk, then I'd be like, okay, you know what, I can.
Mhm.
But I was like, why are you criticizing me for let me just take care of like myself the way that I
Yeah.
normally
Yeah.
take care of myself. If I need to isolate myself, I'll do that. I had no problem doing that. But don't make don't make them feel like shit for not wanting to do it. I
Yeah.
guess because again, I mean, at the end of the day, like you would want to trust your government in a perfect world, like trust at least the research and trust the individual. But we're all human at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like I said, when we have too much hand in something, we're bound to mess it up at least to some degree. So I was like, let me just do my part and not interact with nobody. We'll write it out, see what happens.
Yeah.
And then obviously then all this research started coming up about effects or if you did get it versus if you didn't get it, and then it was just a bunch of back and forth. But
What's your opinion, Alan?
I
I mean, I know scientifically, I feel like. Do you feel like
scientist is telling you that
do you feel like obligated that you had to take it?
I mean, I guess not obligated. I don't know. Maybe that's a lie.
Like looking at it now, would
Looking
you
at
have
it
taken
now.
it,
I mean,
knowing everything you know now?
I take my yearly shots for the flu.
Okay.
I'll take, I'm not scared of needles, so I guess that's like a
and I'm
bias or
scared of
something.
needles.
You are?
Yeah, I hate needles.
Yeah, I think that's a big reason why, low key, I think that's a big reason why a lot of people didn't get vaccinated. It's like, yes, the individuality part, but getting stuck by a needle and your government telling you need to get stuck by a needle.
That I think that was probably mine. I'm just like, why does the government care so much about?
You're so
me?
rebellious,
This
bro.
is like, I don't know, something's not right.
You're like, just because you told me, fuck you.
Just because.
Yeah,
Just
I'm
because
just
if
like-
you would have just thrown it out there,
Like maybe if
you would have
wanted,
volunteered
yeah.
for it. But
and then there's other things too. Like this one, you hear a lot. People say, like, I've never gotten the flu shot,
Mhm.
and the one time I did, I got super sick.
me
Yeah.
too.
I got extremely sick.
Yeah, it's a yearly
But-
thing, man. It doesn't get better.
Right, yeah, but it's like apparently that's pretty common, right? But I just some people use that as an excuse until the full extreme, and they're like, no, I'm not gonna take any shots or whatnot, and I don't know. I don't think I was too, I would say, right winged on it.
Yeah.
Because I understood, and I was like, you know what? It's obviously killing people. It's obviously.
But you
out
can't
there.
deny it. Like people
Yeah.
are fucking dying.
Yeah.
So you're like, something is happening.
Yeah.
So
So
But
What do
something
you
in
do?
me, I was just like, but I think with what I'm seeing the patterns on it, I think I'll be
I
fine.
guess like your knowledge behind, obviously you're very knowledgeable on like the time frames
yeah,
on
Does it make
safely
sense?
to create something.
yeah.
Was
Well-
that within your horizon, or was
Like
that kind
some-
of like, oh
like
shit, that was
some-
fast?
No, honestly, no.
Because what
No.
the research is just so advanced.
It's so we can do it. God, man, we could probably make a vaccine for something in a week if it wasn't because of the FDA.
That's what I want.
Like, there's so much
FDA,
trials, so
right?
many
Because the
things that
FDA
we have
gets
to
in the
do.
way.
Yeah. But
So the vaccine's FDA approved,
yeah,
right?
or,
Yeah.
it probably is by now. But dude, it takes so long for the FDA to approve stuff. You have to go through so many trials, small trials, medium trials, big trials.
So what's the deal with boosters?
So I guess it goes back to how natural immunity within the body works. The way these vaccines work, the way normally vaccines work is that you'll put a little piece of the virus in your blood, and it's a virus that can't infect you, but it's a virus that your body can learn how to fight against, right? So if the real virus comes along in the future, your body knows perfectly how to fight it.
Fight back. Like they're ready already. They jumped the virus before.
Yeah.
So now when
They
the real
jumped
one comes around, they know how to handle it.
Exactly.
I'm here to explain it like if you're 5.
I think I'm still gonna stand on that it was pretty rushed. In my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, you talked about editing DNA and everything, and we're still trying to study it 10 years ago, and it's still trying to get through. And you're telling me we can get a vaccine in a couple months, shipped out, distributed, and start poking people?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Like,
Yeah,
why
man.
can't we do that?
The reason, I think even the reason why it took so long is because we used a new type of technology for it. So usually how a normal vaccine works is you will inject straight up just a piece of the virus
Yeah.
into yourself, and that will create a natural defense. Your body, your antibodies, or you'll have antibodies that will be able to fight that in the future. Your body just has memory of that. The COVID vaccine, you guys heard a lot about the mRNA vaccine.
Yes.
Basically, that means you inject yourself with a little piece of DNA. It's called mRNA. And your body itself will make that piece of virus. And then your body itself, even though it just made that piece of virus, it'll recognize it as a foreign particle and it'll destroy it. At least that's how, was it Pfizer and Moderna? That's how they did it. I know Johnson & Johnson did a regular
I got
regular
COVID.
vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
I had got COVID.
Yeah, I got it.
I had
too.
gotten
Yeah.
it, and then I lost smell.
You know, the funny thing is that,
Tripped me out.
you know what's better than getting vaccinated?
Getting
it?
COVID?
Getting COVID. Getting COVID.
How about
Yeah,
that?
to an extent.
Because that's how
Until you die.
I mean, yeah,
Unless you
to an
die.
how much better is it?
No,
Never
but I
got
yeah.
it over here, baby.
No, I got it, and then I lost my smell, and it was funny the way I found out. I was getting ready to go out, put on my cologne.
It's like,
And I
why
was
can't
like-
I smell
I
shit?
was like, this shit fucking cologne sucks, right? I was
Did
like,
it expire?
I was like, man, that sucks, man. I was like, hold on. I was like, Hold on. Okay, hold on. Wait a minute. So then I was kind of, at that point, I was like, I'm not feeling 100%, obviously.
It started getting in your head.
No, I was just like, I knew I didn't feel 100%, and I couldn't smell my cologne. And then I was like, okay, I have the one thing that I know exactly what it smells like. And it was the black ice air freshener from a car. So I ran to my car, and I grabbed one that I had opened. Nothing. And I was like, it's been open.
You lost it completely, dude?
I was like, it's been open, like, for like a week.
Yeah.
The smell just went away. Had a brand new pack, bro, not even open. I got 2 of them. Opened that pack. Nothing. I was like, fuck. I got COVID. I canceled all plans, and I was like, I can't go out. I was like, I cannot go out. I was like, I got COVID. I was like, I can't smell shit. I was like, I'm going to we'll see what happens. And then obviously,
I went out more. No, imagine.
So then I went.
If I got it, you got it.
So then I went and I quarantined for my days, did my remedies. I got my shit back within like a couple days, and I was like, okay.
But you felt good though, right?
No, I felt fine.
Yeah,
thankfully, right? But no, yeah, man, it was kind of crazy to know what it feels like to lose your smell.
That's insane.
That's crazy.
So what's the point? Like that's honestly kind of mind blowing. Like,
did that alter my DNA?
No,
because like most of the symptoms with it was like what?
It was aches,
almost like every
loss
flu
of
symptom you
taste,
have,
and loss of smell was the big ones that people were like freaking out about.
But how does that interfere with like having a cold? Because typically you have a cold and everything, fever and everything.
Yeah.
But losing your taste was completely brand new to, I'm gonna say, almost everyone. Like, what the?
It took a lot of people by surprise.
Yeah, no, it took me by surprise. Not gonna lie. Like,
people were eating onions. That was crazy. Eating onions and garlic.
It's like it tastes like an apple.
Oh, Diana got it, and she lost the taste.
Yeah, I had lost my taste.
And then the way that I know that she had gotten it for sure was like, how we drink, we'll drink like whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
She hates it. And then one time I had an old fashioned, I was like, drink this. And she fucking gulped the fuck out of it. She's like, I can't taste anything. I was like, oh my God. I was like, we gotta leave. I was like, we gotta go. I was like, you have fucking COVID. And then we left immediately. No, we were at a restaurant, bro, but outside. And then I was like, yeah. Sure. There's no way that you're drinking this right now with a clear face. She was like, I was like, oh no. I was like, let's fucking go.
We gotta go.
So yeah, dude, that was like new.
Yeah.
To a lot of people.
So to answer your question, by the way, how it affected our sense of taste and sense of smell. COVID is a respiratory virus. It obviously goes through our respiratory tract, and that includes our nostrils and our taste buds. I don't know the exact how it works, but I know that
you're like, whoever engineered this,
they're like,
they're on their fucking A game.
Let me call up Xi Jinping real quick.
On it right now.
No, but
this motherfucker's spinning.
It damages like the nerve endings of your sense of smell and your sense of taste.
I've known some people who did get their, I think everyone got their taste back, but it wasn't the same.
I have, my dad's friend, he never got his sense of smell back. Like he got, he smells a little bit, like, but it's like a fraction of what he gets. And his sense of taste is like 50%.
I was about to ask you, could you keep going on knowing that you lost that?
I feel so bad for
him.
you
had it and it got taken away from you.
I just, like, you had a taste of the good life. And then
like you had 100%
time and
taste buds
and it's like gone.
And it affects people's cardio as well. I'm guessing it's their lungs or something, the way they breathe.
It's people's ability to like recover from, scarring from viruses and whatnot. But they can affect every bit of it, like your heart health, your lung health.
I'm a little winded on my 50-mile bike ride.
No, I'm good. No, I only say that because we have somebody in our group. He was, I guess he was like in the top group, right? But now he's like right below that group because he's been in it so long.
He never got his lung capacity back.
He never got it back. So now he's like 2 groups behind now just because of that. And it's like a whole year later, and he just couldn't get it back.
Now some people, man, that's a bitch. It's
insane,
the virus.
I had one more question just to kind of go back to you. Obviously, you had a pretty unique upbringing. What do you, if it's okay?
Yeah, of course.
What do your parents do?
So they both own a company that.
All right.
Pfizer and
Moderna and Johnson and Johnson.
Oh man, I wish. I'd be driving a Lamborghini.
He's like, I wouldn't be sitting here right now if I
Like,
did.
nah, I love you guys. No, they own their own company. They've told me this a million times. So
He doesn't know what they do.
dude, it's so
What the fuck?
complicated.
It's a company.
They work in telecom, and basically they sell internet via satellite. They don't own the satellites, but what they do is they have a bunch of like antennas on the ground, and they'll bounce it up onto a satellite, and then the satellite bounces it back to a remote area. And it's usually like people that buy their services are remote areas that can't access internet via like fiber optic cables.
So like the people in the countryside type.
Countryside.
That was the shit you were slinging
There's a lot of
back in the Walmart days.
in Mexico. There's a lot of highways that are you have to pay for them. They're not free
Oh,
highways.
so this is like
Yeah, they work. They were based off Mexico.
Wow. Okay.
So they used to work with the Mexican government a lot to like give internet to these like toll stations where people have to pay. A lot of like oil rigs out in the middle of the ocean,
way out there. Yeah, all over Mexico.
They have no other option. Not gonna lie, their internet's like it's fucking slow.
No,
Hey,
It's slow.
but do you got it?
It has to fucking go all the way up to space and then bounce back and come to you.
Wow.
It's slow, but it's better than nothing.
Right.
So that's
So
what they
IT
do.
was taken, engineering was taken, now medical. Do you got any other siblings?
No, just
Okay.
just
we're
the
missing
two
a
of
lawyer.
us.
I was about to say
A
damn.
lawyer would be cool.
Anybody
dude.
a lawyer?
Wow,
in
that's
your
really
family?
interesting though. I mean, that's awesome.
Dude, you know what's crazy? My dad didn't go to college.
What?
Like he did all that shit like on his own. Like he just hit the books. He like I have no idea what the fuck he did, but like
You gotta respect the grind,
You
man.
gotta respect
How
the
bad
grind,
do you
man.
want it?
Actually
insane.
that's a lie. He did go to college. He didn't graduate from college.
Okay.
So like
He
everything
said,
that
I
he
don't need
did.
it.
Yeah. Actually, yeah. He was an entrepreneur, I guess you could call it that.
So he started that company.
Yeah. He used to
Wow.
have a different company. Oh man, my dad's done a bunch of shit during his past, but
There's a bunch of LLCs that failed and one finally took
one
off.
finally took off, dude.
He was like, it was a matter of time.
He had a submarine, dude. He used to like a 2-people
Ocean
submarine.
Ocean Gate.
Yeah, type shit.
He
Type
sold,
shit.
he
Wait
sold
a
that
minute.
shit right before, bro.
Actually, dude.
He knew why it failed. He's like, yep.
Immediately,
I
he was like-
designed that
he was
one.
like, he's like, look right there, fucking gone.
He's like, oh man, Saved by the Bell. Got out of it just in time. Yeah, but he used to
Wow.
like take people to the bottom of like the ocean, not like very far, but like just give them tours of look at
So
that
when you
coral
have
reef.
that mentality, bro, like of like self-made, like entrepreneur,
That's
like
a pretty
you-
high bar.
He
That's-
sticks to it. Right?
That's another reason why I decided not to be a doctor, because I admire my dad so much, and I admire what he does and how he's become like this self-made
Yeah.
like businessman with all his like entrepreneurial ventures, and I really admire that, and I want to do that someday.
Is he here in the U.S. or is he?
Yeah, he's at home. I live with my parents.
Nice. That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Do you ever felt like whenever you were growing up through high school and college, like you felt like some type of pressure that you had to show your dad that, hey, I'm just like you and want to make you proud?
Not at all. You know, it's crazy because
That's crazy.
at least in Mexico, I'm sure here in America too, like nepotism is so big.
Yeah.
And, like people that who are
Yeah.
kids of famous or like successful businessmen, they'll just take over after what their dad does, and they'll
Yeah.
just take over the company. I never ever felt that from my dad or from my mom, that I had to like take over or like pass the torch or anything. They were always so open of like, you do what you want to do, we'll support you. Even whenever like, God, my entire life they thought that I was going to be a doctor, and then I just remember perfectly the day that I told them like, I don't want to do it anymore. They were so supportive.
Wow.
They were like,
Wow.
every step of the way, we're going to be there with you. Any decision you make, any like path that you take through life, we're going to be behind you.
Blessed, man.
Yeah.
That's like the goal,
Oh, that
right?
was
I mean,
amazing.
Yeah.
That's
It was
probably
so
that was
nice.
probably his like payout. He was like, awesome. He's like, I did what I needed to do.
I was so worried too. I was so worried they were going to be disappointed in me.
I would have been.
You said because you probably think they have an expectation,
You
right?
said
So
what?
you're like,
Yeah,
"Ah,
yeah.
shit.
But no, they just want me to do good, and I think that's the best support that anyone could have, really. Just like have someone that's unconditionally behind you, with every decision you make, good or bad.
So you mentioned you just started with this company in July this year.
Yeah.
What's your ultimate goal, or what do you want to work up to or be doing essentially in that field?
Not in that field. I don't.
Not in that field. Okay.
I'm a lab tech right now, which you know, it's cool for what I'm doing right now. It's a good starting position, but that's definitely not where I want to be in like 5 years.
Okay.
Like I want to. Oh man, I don't even know, man. That's crazy. I'm still figuring that part.
Let's
of my
clone
life
Rudy,
out.
and we'll bring a clone in like 5 years.
I do want to do science on the side.
On the what?
On the like science projects. I want to have my own like little
On the
ventures
side?
on the side. Yeah. Cloning I think would be a good place to start. Man,
Just jumping right in.
I'm a big stoner. Like I smoke weed all the time, like every day.
All
no
right, we're getting
exceptions.
into it. Okay, so
I would love to start off like my business ventures like by cloning, or not by cloning, by modifying the DNA of marijuana.
genetically enhanced.
Yeah, not. I love that you said that, because
But
I
it's
don't want to
not- does not
genetically
make any
modify
sense.
it. I want to genetically enhance it.
Oh,
So there's the thing
said,
that makes
"Get it
us
right."
high.
he said no.
The thing that makes us high is THC, right? And that's produced through a bunch of different like steps within the cell.
Yeah.
So if I can enhance these proteins within the cell, like to juice up the amount of like THC that a plant produces, I can make weed that's like 10 times as potent as it is today, or change the looks. So if I want to make the plant look red or purple or pink, or maybe Ukraine colored, like I could do that.
That's
like,
enough.
we're not getting political here.
All right.
I think one time I had changed the color of a rose. There was a white rose, and I
Yeah.
put it in blue colored water,
spray paint.
and then the rose started getting blue. That's about the most
The most
enhancing I've
scientific
done.
I thought was watercolor.
But no, that's a pretty. I mean, I've never thought of someone trying to enhance marijuana.
Mm-hmm.
I have. They
Essentially,
strain
you
that
can
shit.
have, like, let's say some people it takes about, I don't know, a gram or so to get really high, and now you
Yeah.
need less than that.
I could get it like if give me $100,000 and I can.
Is that what?
I think
what
that's
costs? What's so expensive? Like, what do you need?
the equipment to research, a bunch of research.
Shit, I'm partnering up, man.
bunch of research. Just trial and error. Obviously, I'd have to do some with
You need some
myself.
sponsors.
You need some test subjects,
Yeah, dude, for sure. I'll give you guys all the shit I make.
like the alien memes. All the fucking
Chris doesn't come back to the next podcast. He's gone. I was like, well,
He's like, he's out for the next 3
batch,
days.
Batch one, not that great.
No, it
Honestly.
didn't go well.
But yeah, it's just trial and error. That's really what academia is all about.
do
what
you
research
think
is all
only about enhancing marijuana, or how about like people shrooms?
Yeah, I could definitely do that. That's definitely something I could do. Shrooms, that's a great example. Yeah,
With shrooms,
psilocybin.
How are shrooms made again?
Well, it's
With the
it's
mushroom.
the mushroom. You just
Nature.
grow it.
Nature.
The mushrooms produce this natural compound called psilocybin in order to deter. It deters bugs from eating it, and it's like deadly for bugs, right? If a bug chomps down on a psilocybin mushroom, it'll kill it. But if we eat it, it'll get us like
Good
super
fucking
fucking
time.
high.
That's
life.
crazy.
Just a bite.
It's
Yeah.
a good fucking time.
So it's all just a biological process that you can exploit through
was a lot
DNA
of those, right?
modification. Yeah.
Right, a lot of
High off
insects
their
have
venom.
natural immunities to other insects, and or they'll create their own chemical
Yeah.
defenses, and then it's like, hey, if I like this is fucking insane.
That's caffeine too. Caffeine. Plants that produce caffeine are they make caffeine in order to deter bugs from eating them.
Oh wow.
Yeah, but tobacco too, or nicotine. Nicotine's done to prevent bugs from eating them, worms.
So
And
with
we're over here getting high with it.
We're like,
so
hey.
with shrooms,
Lazy
there's a lot of obviously a lot of bunch of biology going
Mm-hmm.
on when that happens, but there's also a lot of like psychological things that happens, and more of like, how would you say it? You being a scientist or very like, with facts and everything. How do you interact with like, some people say going on shrooms is like an opening.
Yeah.
Go into another dimension, or finding yourself. Like, are you open to that type of realm,
Or is it just like
as
there's
well?
a chemical imbalance in your brain?
Or are you just
No.
kind of more like, nope, you're like he said, whatever, you're in chemical balance, whatever.
No, I think it goes so much deeper than that. My God, can I talk? Psychedelics. They're
Okay.
so much deeper than that. They. Oh, man,
Is it
this
more than
changed-
just science?
It's more than just science. I would like to think so,
Spiritual.
because like.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at. That's-
Yeah. No, it really is. It really is, because like we've been studying acid. We've been studying psilocybin for like years and years and years, and we still don't know why it does what it does. Like we know the basics of it. We know like what the body does to.
What is shrooms
LSD.
classified as a class what drug? Is it a
Class 1?
Damn,
Like,
classes. I thought you meant like
it's
psychedelic.
It's like a
versus-
felony to like. Is that what you're talking about?
yeah like
It's a felony
what
to
kind
have
of?
it.
But I'm curious like why is to it because can you overdose on shrooms?
You can't.
You can't.
You can't. Well, you can die from it if you have like heart problems. Obviously, like
How do you know if you have heart problems?
trial and error, man? If you die or not.
Give me a bottle of your blood.
Give me 5 grams of shrooms. I'll figure it out right now.
Well, how would it affect your heart? Like if
It just beats a lot. Like it raises up your heartbeat, and some people can't.
Because your
handle it.
brain's going through shit.
Yeah.
So your body's going through.
so,
shit.
you would suggest someone for the first time taking a mushroom to microdose?
Maybe not microdose, but like
Just go on.
It's
He's
like,
like,
no,
don't be a
like-
bitch.
like maybe half a
Just
dose.
do
Like I
it.
think, man, I'm not too knowledgeable in shrooms because I don't really do shrooms that often. I
Yeah.
like acid. That's really like my psychedelic of choice.
Acid, you said?
Acid, yeah.
Okay.
So I think for people doing acid, maybe like half a tab would be the perfect way to start off.
Yeah.
Not a full tab. I think a full tab's too much for somebody to start off. And besides, a lot of times, if people do a lot of psychedelics in their first go, it's gonna deter them from doing it again because
Yeah.
it's just gonna be too strong of a trip. You know, it's gonna be way too overwhelming. People
can
aren't
see
gonna want
that.
to do it anymore.
Yeah.
But it's crazy how much it helps people with like PTSD, with depression, with like people that have actual medical problems. They'll take like shrooms once. It's like, whoa.
But there's also
Sure.
been people who take shrooms and they just don't come back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like that.
Mhm.
I've seen that a lot. It just and that's with everything. Just abusing it. It's some people have addictive personalities.
Or do you mean like they take it once and then they're never the same person?
Yeah.
again? Yeah. I mean, I think
Is
that
like
can
a rare
happen with
case? Or?
that can happen with any like life changing experience. Like that happens
Yeah.
with people that like have car accidents.
Yeah.
Right. They'll get in one car accident and then suddenly they can't be in a car anymore because like the anxiety just like kills them. But you know, it's just anything like
Is MDMA considered a psychedelic?
Yeah.
Do you know?
Yeah, it is. But I think I told Nan this before. There's 2 categories of drugs. There's like soft drugs and there's hard drugs,
Yeah.
right? Alcohol, nicotine, caffeine, weed. I consider all those like soft drugs, right? And hear me out. This is gonna sound crazy. I think that acid and the shrooms are also soft drugs.
Really?
Yeah, they're
That-
potent. They're really potent drugs, obviously. But you take it and you're not like fucked up the next day. You're not like hungover. You know, it just it gives you a hell of a trip. But it doesn't mess with your brain chemistry as much as like fentanyl, like meth, like crack, like heroin. I think Molly is a hard drug
Damn.
Ah.
because it messes with your brain chemistry so much that like you literally get withdrawals from it the next day.
You think you can make a weapon out of that?
Molly? Yeah, probably,
Yeah,
dude.
Why are
Molly.
you so like malicious?
I don't know.
He's
I'm
just
just
trying to
saying,
ways to
bro.
fuck people up.
No, I'm just curious.
To make a
like-
weapon out of everything.
Like, is it how difficult? Like, I'm just curious. Like, there's other countries like that are
He's ready.
not
on
as
all
not as
fucking ends.
ethical as we are. I guess. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I hope we're consider ourselves ethical, but where they have no boundaries.
Yeah.
Like in World War II with Germany, and they were doing some crazy
Mhm.
testing.
They were doing a bunch of meth testing.
And how do
dude.
we know other
Oh, yeah,
countries aren't
meth was
doing that right
crazy.
now? You know, like
I
why?
guess we'll
Like,
never know.
we won't never know until it hits you. Like,
I accept it as we'll never know until it comes out.
You know who used meth? The Nazis.
Yeah, that's why the soldiers were so fearless.
Yeah,
'Cause
no,
they
that
were
is-
just juiced up on amphetamines.
Yeah,
Did they
were
know?
taking it?
They know. Yeah, they know.
Yeah, but they didn't. Like,
it was part
really-
of their culture, I guess. Like it was like
They knew, but they didn't know.
if you joined the fucking the Reich, it was kind of like a given that you were going to be juiced up with amphetamines.
The other side was like so scared of the Nazis just because of that, because they were like relentless. and
Dude,
they just
wouldn't
had all
you
this
be
energy.
like? Imagine like the soldiers right now fighting the Taliban, but they're on coke. Like
Yeah,
they're just
straight
coke
up.
fucking their
And
mind.
they had a
dude.
clip on them, dude. He's still walking towards you. Fuck.
It's like their nose is all powdered up. Like
and I'm guessing when you're on that stuff, like you can take more damage. and still be on
yeah,
your feet.
dude. You become a beast.
It's a buff.
Or like,
juggernaut.
you guys ever seen that drug, crocodile?
What the
You guys ever heard
Ah,
of that
I
shit?
got some right here. Nah.
Dude, they call it like the zombie drug because you literally become a zombie when you take it.
bath salt?
So is
Yeah, sort of like
Like
that.
that.
Yeah.
is that man made or is
Yeah.
that something that?
No, it's man-made. It's
So
man-made.
somebody sat there and said, "Hey,
I'm gonna push those human bodies. to the
what
limit.
if we
What if we made zombies
what if we
over
made a
here?
zombie? Like seriously, that's
Yeah.
Wow.
who or how did this come about? Like
I can't tell. I don't.
He-
Oh
You
shit.
can't disclose it to you.
No, I actually don't know, man. There's a million.
how do we know the government didn't release that and its own people? And like, you know what, we need to get rid of this neighborhood right here.
And it just grew
You
after
know?
that. It's. I
I'm
think
just saying, man. Like,
How do we make this into a weapon?
He's like, how can we weaponize this, bro? This is fucking street food. Don't fucking question me.
just drop it off in the projects, dude.
that's what I'm saying. Like, I think like the U.S. has been known to do some shady stuff like that.
Yeah.
To do like,
Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
LSD
it's come
testing,
out.
weren't they doing like what is that?
like Project Ultra.
Yeah,
Yeah. With LSD, they were doing that.
that's some crazy stuff.
The CIA
man.
has done some crazy shit over the years, man. It wouldn't surprise me if it was them.
Who controls the CIA?
The CIA does. Of course they have like the president that is above them, but dude, like
Like,
Is
God,
he
just
though?
Who,
Is
Biden?
He? I don't
for
even
for
think he-
whoever's listening to this, I guess no, that's yesterday. But yesterday it was the 60th anniversary of Kennedy getting assassinated.
Oh, is that why
wow.
I kept hearing shit on the radio?
Yeah. 60 years yesterday. And there's a lot of conspiracy theories. I don't think it's
Well, didn't they
conspiracy theory.
They released CIA documents
Yeah,
and they
like-
confirmed that it was an operative that
Lee Harvey Oswald was working for the CIA
he murdered
prior
Kennedy.
to getting,
Whoa, I've never heard of this.
No, but like they were like released dog. They were classified for years,
So
Yeah.
and they finally released them to the point where they're like, people probably wouldn't care at this point.
so when
They didn't.
Yeah,
when
fuck.
Kennedy started his presidency, one of the first things that he did was he just saw everything that the CIA was doing.
The demolish.
The CIA was going to all these different countries and like taking down dictators or like, maybe not dictators, but they were removing people from power that did not agree with U.S. policy.
Or benefited the
Yeah,
US.
it benefit even. Like
Yeah.
maybe if they were neutral, but they wanted somebody that would be better for the U.S. interest. They wouldn't think twice in like, toppling down the government or assassinating people. And Kennedy-
Wasn't there like a mission where CIA was going to send undercover operatives to Cuba to overthrow him, but then Kennedy stopped it?
they did.
That was Black Ops
They
1.
did.
They did.
They did. They did, and they failed. And then they were going to do it again, and Kennedy was like, no. Kennedy was also very much like a diplomatic person instead of like an escalating person. He liked to talk things through,
Yeah.
which, it was his notion of like world peace that he wanted to achieve, which I thought it was pretty.
Makes sense.
It makes
You're
sense
like,
to me,
very rational of you.
CIA did not like that. Ever since he like got into the presidency, he was just at odds with everybody in the CIA. He demoted a lot of people in the CIA. He fired a bunch of others within like the espionage units within the government, and he was just like cracking down on like we're not going to police the whole world. We're not going to go into all these other countries and like murder people.
We're going to
or,
worry
like,
about our
topple-
own problems.
Exactly.
As it should. Honestly, I think it should be, right?
And that's kind of why I think that that's why he was murdered.
That's
When he was
definitely
murdered,
why.
it was like peak of the Cold War. He was going. People thought in the CIA that he was going too soft on Russia, and that would mean that they would gain a lot more control in the future in the Cold War. So they
You think-
didn't want him there. So
Was it Russia or Soviet Union at that point?
Soviet Union.
It was still
my
Soviet
bad.
Union.
My
You think
bad,
you
my
think
bad.
they were
Yeah.
kind of shocked that he died, or they kind of knew it was coming?
Shit, I don't know.
That's a great question, man.
Like imagine when they'd been like, "Oh shit, they did it! Oh fuck!"
They were like,
Oh,
fuck,
shit,
they actually did it.
Get a
They're
little-
like, I thought you were
Get a little of
joking.
this. These motherfuckers ain't
It's
playing
like-
around.
and they were like, you know what? Let's back out.
They
That,
standing
that
on-
probably calmed down the Cold War. Like they killed their
standing
own
on
president.
I mean,
business.
and I hate to say it, but like,
if they can do that,
no, not even that. Just kind of like everything worked itself out.
that's fucked up.
Well, I mean, did anybody ever get nuked?
You're right. I mean,
when you put it that
things,
way,
but things could happen. Like there's cause and effect.
yeah.
Something else could have happened that people were like fucking shoot them nukes and then we would all just blown up. But nobody launched the nuke,
I guess it worked out in the end.
and that sucks to say it, but nobody got nuked at the end of the day.
There's a Kennedy
for the Cold War.
running for president.
I guess they weren't
Is it
standing on
really?
business.
Yeah.
Was it like the great like?
Shut up, Herna.
Do you know Do you know which Kennedy's running for president?
It's
Can you look it up? Herman?
Robert. No,
Oh, you don't have your
that-
phone,
I
right?
have no idea. On my iPad.
He's running as a Dem.
I mean, that makes sense. Yeah,
Yeah.
Kennedy was a Dem.
Yeah, I gotta use it.
You put it on camera 4.
I gotta use the restroom.
Oh, I was gonna go. ahead.
No, but there is a Kennedy running for president, and I think he has all the right morals and ethics that what's wrong with America
It's
now.
just like generational. It got passed down from
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
and then sorry, Chris, you're good. You're always unprofessional. God, please take the restroom. But no, I just the only thing about him is that when he's running now, he's not running as a Republican or Democrat.
He's independent.
Independent,
Is he?
because he wouldn't get picked from either side.
Oh.
But everything he's saying, I mean, like this motherfucker makes sense.
Yeah.
And
It's kind of sad that he's going as an independent though, because
It's
he's
hard,
just not gonna
man.
get anywhere with that.
it's
Why did he-
super hard.
Why is he going as an independent?
Well, you got Trump, Republican,
Yeah.
and you got the other. I don't even know if Trump's gonna be able to run.
Maybe, dude. I don't know.
He's
I
not
can't believe
even-
it's still debatable right now, though. I can't believe it's still a debate. Like that's insane.
Well, the whole trial itself is kind of fishy too. Like what they found and everything. Like, you know what? I mean, it wasn't just him though. There were operatives under the January 6th. Like it's a fact. It wasn't just how they make it seem to be. Now he could have said better words to calm it down too. Like seriously, man. Like you just.
Everybody go to the Capitol right now.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
I don't know. I'm still kind of in both between. I definitely don't want Biden.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. He's too soft.
yeah,
And he's too like he's not there mentally.
Yeah.
And, like I don't give a shit. Like, okay, I do give a shit what your like political opinions are if you're like the president, because obviously
Yeah.
I'm left leaning, so
yeah,
I would want someone that aligns with that.
right.
But I also don't want someone who doesn't have the attention span of like 10 seconds.
My
dude.
man's lost.
Dude, like, have you seen the videos of him like on a stage and like he doesn't know like where to go after he gives the speech?
He
Like,
loses the cue.
There's a stair on the left side. There's a stair on the right side. Like, there's no reason for you to be wandering around. Like,
They
where
have
do I
to
go?
baby him. They have to
Yeah,
have
they do.
instructions and everything, arrows pointed out.
the arrow,
Um,
the landing strip. Like,
y'all
you're
see
gonna
that?
go here after.
Y'all see that latest video where he looks like he's pooping his pants?
What?
He's like he ran off the stage.
I feel like a bunch. Oh,
he
he
just
ran
ran off
off
the stage and he's like he didn't look at nobody, at nothing. He just ran off back inside, and everybody's like, "Yeah, that's definitely poopy pants right
It's
there."
poopy pants time,
Yeah.
dude.
No, and I think I've seen some pictures where they have like they put grip on his shoes.
Grip.
Yeah, so he
Damn.
wouldn't slip and everything.
Honestly,
but
I wish I had that on dress shoes. Like I don't know why they don't put that on dress
she's
shoes.
just trying to back him up.
You're
Who
just
we
trying
talking
to,
about?
like,
Biden, look
yeah.
at that. You didn't even.
Yeah.
But I do be slipping like with dress shoes because they don't have like any grip on the bottom.
Yeah.
If, like we're stepping on carpet. Like fuck
I didn't
off,
even
you
think
know?
about that. Yeah, a lot of times
Right?
that he falls, it's like on carpet. You know what video I do love about Biden?
Which one?
Whenever he's like on his bike and he just like falls over to
Oh.
one
He
side.
doesn't notice
Stop.
that.
I
He
love
doesn't
that.
do anything about it. He just
He
falls.
just like
He just tips over.
stops.
Stop. That one made me sad.
Like, all right, I'm going down.
Doesn't do
he,
any.
he just had a
effort.
birthday.
Did we already talk about Putin on the bear?
No,
What?
no.
Or was he shirtless or something?
I've seen that picture. I
you
think
know, like, because we had they put a picture of like
I would take that as a threat.
no they they had one of Biden like tipping over on the bicycle and they had Putin shirtless like six pack
On the bear?
on a bear
Bro,
or
if
some shit.
fucking Russia sends you their president on a fucking bear, it's like, dude, that personally, that's kind of a threat. You're like, yeah, we guys, look what we got.
yeah.
But I don't know. Then again, if you look at the right side, Trump and everything, he's kind of a firecracker.
Yeah.
It's kind of like,
Yeah. I will say, He's fucking hilarious.
He's the
I
funniest.
do miss
Trump's the
that.
funniest guy ever, dude. Like, he's so unintentionally, like, he'll say
Like
the randomest
unintentionally funny.
shit. No, yeah, exactly. Like, he doesn't mean it, but it's like the funniest shit ever. And I love that.
What was it? So there was this one dude. Whenever like there was like tension really high, and he fucking posted just the U.S. flag.
Oh,
He was throwing up basically
Okay.
gang signs.
okay.
Whenever he
yeah.
was like, do
So
something about it on fucking Twitter.
We had killed a general from Syria for like he was like an ISIS general, I think.
yeah.
Pretty high up, and he
Yeah,
was
I
Syrian.
remember that.
Syrian regime.
I
And,
remember that.
we bombed them, and the next thing that we hear, no, we don't hear, we see Trump just tweets out the U.S. flag.
Just and it's a fucking 4020p image of the U.S.
Just
flag.
boom.
He fucking
My man's throwing up signs like,
dude. That I was like, I told Riz, I can't believe that he. I was like, is that real? And he was like, dude, that's real. I was like, oh my god.
that's
And then
great.
the other one was when he had a Photoshop the face of himself with Rocky posting.
I saw
And
that. Bro, I remember that shit. That was so funny.
And I was like, there's no way this is actually the president.
It's
And
the United
and
States.
went to
I
his
can't
page.
remember what had happened right before.
That
when
one
he
I don't
posted
remember.
that, but like I can just imagine him perfectly. Like that shit happened, and he was like, he told his marketing team like, "Hey, I want you to do exactly this."
They were like, "Are you sure?" He's
Yeah. That's what I want.
Do you think he went to his
Photoshop at
market,
5
or he
a.m.
just
like,
kind
I
of
got something for the
I don't know.
Someone
Dude.
on the-
Do you think he pulled up his own like Photoshop on his laptop?
Maybe, man.
He was like, I got my own fucking login. Hold up.
Hold up, give me
He
a
just
second.
logs in real
I
quick.
feel like Trump's pretty creative. I feel like there's a lot more shit we didn't see, just because they were like, no.
Like last second,
No.
right before he hit the send, like before the
I want to
tweet.
see Trump's drafts.
Oh God, bro! You know what I want to
Kinda
see?
crazy shit
I
on
want to
there.
see him open up a TikTok account.
Oh, what his FYP is?
Yeah, I would love that. Or get ready with me's, or
Stop.
get ready with me while I talk about Palestine.
He's like, get ready with me today. Oh, dude. What isn't he like 6? Is he the tallest? He's not
Is
the
he?
tallest.
Is
He's
he?
like 6'3".
Shut the fuck up, dude.
Dude, he's fucking
Yeah, he's a-
Oh,
a
that
beast.
motherfucker tall.
He is like tall. And like I'm like, you know, because
He doesn't look it.
exactly
He really doesn't.
because you look at him and
He
you're
looks
like,
like a nub.
so like imagine if he walks in here, you're like,
It
hey,
towers over
Mr.
you.
President,
Dude, like that's Mr. President
That-
up there.
that's
That's,
Mr.
Mr. President up there.
Who's the guy who's running for president who's wearing heels?
Ron DeSantis.
Oh, DeSantis. Yeah, that guy looks small. That guy does look small, dude.
He's like, no, that's valid.
So, but you think it does make an impact to your presidential run? If
To be your- to be- to be
you're
tall?
5'5".
I mean,
I'm not voting. I'm not voting for no.
I'm not voting for a midget.
Sorry,
No
Arnaud.
offense, none.
Oh no. Oh,
Mike wasn't on. That is my exact height.
Oh,
5'5"?
can we cut that out?
Yeah.
No, but like, god damn, I hate saying this because
No,
I
they
sound
say-
like such a bad like American. But if the race comes down to like Biden versus Trump, I think I might just like abstain my vote because like,
Dang.
dude, like coming from a Mexican family, like
Hey,
especially
man, it's good having you here on.
no, but like a person coming from Mexico, right? Like
It's tough.
it's tough.
He
like
said some wild shit.
he says some really
He said a
wild,
lot
like
of
derogatory,
shit.
like racist shit towards like Mexicans, and just I
All
can't
these rapists
Oh,
coming
yeah.
in.
I can't bring myself to vote for him.
Yeah,
I can I can laugh at him all I want, you know,
Yeah.
because like it's
Yeah,
comedy.
humor's one thing.
Yeah, but like actually like voting for it, like I personally can't bring myself to vote for him.
Right.
But I also can't bring myself to vote for someone who I'm sure is demented. Like
Yeah.
I'm positive that guy.
Like,
is
how much
demented.
more proof do we need?
No,
bro?
we don't need
Yeah.
anymore, dude. The guy's fucking demented.
And it's sad. I'm like, let
Why
him
don't you
rest.
Why don't you think the U.S. government does anything about it?
We have these like laws. I don't know why we don't have
There's-
laws that say
there's-
like
Too many people that
There's-
benefit from it.
there should be there's a minimum. You have to be what, like 35 in order to be a president. There's
Yeah.
no maximum, and I fucking hate that. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
why
and
not?
also
we need
Like,
younger people in there.
Also, a lot of our lawmakers are
The
like
Senate,
really,
yeah.
really old.
Yeah,
They're, like
yeah,
really
yeah.
old.
And
So
there's
they're
no
the ones
term
making those
limit.
laws.
There's
yeah.
this one senator that died recently.
Thank God.
Yeah, I know. Right?
Okay.
No, she was 90, 92,
God, she
93.
probably still thinks
She
I'm
was on a
Fucking
wheelchair.
Christ.
She didn't speak, like she was like basically
Mm-mm.
nonverbal. She was just in a wheelchair the whole time. You know,
She went
was
nonverbal.
she was she was in charge of AI. She was the head
Oh,
person in
what?
charge
Oh
of
my
AI
God.
regulation in the U.S. and she couldn't even fucking get out of. She couldn't even wipe her ass by herself. Like that's how fucking like old
She's
this
like,
bitch was.
I don't need to. I got AI.
What do you what do you think?
She's like, fuck. She's like flicking y'all up.
What do you think is a bigger threat? Modification of bacteria or viruses or AI?
AI, dude.
Really,
AI, man. I mean, God, man. There's nothing stopping anybody from like just modifying the DNA of another virus, of like an AIDS, and making super AIDS. Like there's nothing stopping anybody from
Is AIDS funny now?
I think it's been enough time. The 70s, dude.
No.
It's been like 50 years. It's been like 50. It's almost like we can make jokes about Kennedy. We can make jokes about AIDS.
There's a minimum threshold.
So you think AI is a much more bigger threat to society than modification?
Not now, because it's like a baby right now.
It's like a baby.
It's like a toddler AI. But god damn, like if this is what a toddler is, like I can't imagine what it's like in 20, 30 years. Like I don't know
we
if you
get like
remember.
an AI that's modifying its own DNA.
Oh man,
AI is like I figured that out like 3 seconds ago.
It could though. Like that's I didn't even think about that point. But yeah, if like 20 years from now, 30 years from now, if AI wanted to make a super AIDS, a super COVID, a super whatever, dude, like it could do it probably faster than any other human could.
Some bullshit.
We have
Without electricity,
AI
you can't.
that can obviously form its own thoughts, and the coding behind it is so complicated that the best coders in the world can't figure out how the coding works. It's just so complicated.
I don't know how we did it, but we just did it. But now we don't know how it works.
It's computers coding for computers, and it's processes that are so like complicated. I can't even begin to describe it, man. It's so
just turn it off, bro. I mean, just like cut off the power.
But like, I don't know if you guys remember, there was like this website a couple years ago that you would like type in your text and it would like talk back to you.
It was like a computer with a face.
Yeah. It's like a little proto AI.
No, I don't.
Dude, that was years ago. Now that you
was
bring
like-
it up. Oh my
yeah,
god,
yeah,
you're
it was like
fucking digging out some memories.
Yeah, dude. Like it was like 10
Hey,
years ago.
What was the
chat,
purpose
You could
of
chat
it?
with it.
You can. It was like a
So it's
chat
like
bot or something.
A fucking
was like
customer service bot.
GPT? So it was like
Somebody's
GPT.
real life from India.
Yes, but like a lot more like
Dumbed down.
dumbed down. A lot more dumbed down. But yeah, the basic thing is like it's like a friend almost. Like you could like, hey, how's your day? Oh, my day's been okay. How's your day been? And then you just talk to it like if it was a human, and it could hold like very basic conversation. You obviously couldn't ask it like, my homework is asking for x equals 57. Like
Right.
it couldn't do that shit.
Right.
But it could like hold a basic conversation of, hey, how are you? What's your favorite color? And then it would ask you like, what's your favorite color? And then you'd be like, oh, my favorite color is red.
You guys ever talk to your Snapchat AI?
No.
I actually don't have Snapchat,
Oh.
but I've seen it.
Do you
I've
have
seen
TikTok?
Green flag.
I just downloaded it like maybe.
Do you have
4 weeks ago.
Spotify?
Let me
I
find
do.
out why.
Okay,
Can you
I
watch
was
this
like, can you watch
episode?
this
Let me
episode?
find out why you downloaded TikTok.
I see you right now. No, she sends me a bunch of like TikToks.
Yeah.
and I was
You have to
like,
watch it
do
on the
it.
web browser.
Yeah, he hated putting up the web browser
No,
free
it's
trial.
terrible. It's terrible.
What was your reasoning for not social? You have an Instagram.
I have an Instagram.
But
Yeah.
so now Snapchat. No,
I got-
recently got into TikTok.
I got-
Because China or
I got like from TikTok.
yeah.
No, dude, it was actually a much stupider reason. I don't know. Like, I used to think that TikTok was a thing for like kids, and I just felt like very immature.
It was
using
like that for a good
Yeah,
while.
I think that was me
Yeah.
during COVID. Like everyone was
I like
jumping on
refused
TikTok.
to. I just refused to do it because I was like, I'm not
Yep.
I'm not a kid. Like I'm not. I felt like so superior by like not having it, but then I realized
Yeah.
like, oh shit, everyone has it.
And then you hear
And
the
I'm
sounds
so
too.
And I'm the person like that's left out. And like I would send reels to my friends on Instagram, and they'd be like, "Dude, like this was famous on TikTok like 2 months
He's
ago."
like,
where the
he's
fuck
like,
you
sends
been?"
Facebook
he's like
reels.
YouTube shorts.
Dude,
He says that
I
YouTube
hate,
shorts.
I hate being that guy, but I feel like such an NPC. But I do use the Instagram shorts.
That's
That
crazy.
shit go hard sometimes.
You know the reels? Yeah, they do
The
go hard.
reels go
yeah,
hard,
I
too.
really like the
Yeah,
reels.
yeah.
Yeah,
But
I don't
like,
know.
they're
My
stepping
reels
it up
suck.
a little more now. The comment section on Reels.
Dude.
No, yeah,
Oh, because
that's
you can
brutal.
add GIFs now, right?
Yeah.
Images.
they
comments.
they don't hold anything back. Though.
And Instagram, dude, no, you
like
can't.
TikTok will be like a supportive community. And
No,
for
I've seen
they
people
fucking
get ripped up on TikTok.
flame. your
Really?
ass.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah, but they can't say as much on TikTok.
No,
That's-
because you get flagged. on
yeah, you
TikTok.
get
Mhm.
flagged on there like really hard. But
Dude,
on
Instagram,
Reels.
they don't give a shit.
Instagram,
Yeah.
no hold barred.
I still find it crazy how TikTok just like does such a well job of identifying what you're looking for or what you like.
Dude,
Like if I go to like for example, if I'm looking, well, what's a famous video or something trending that was top of my head.
I don't know.
Okay, let's say
let's say like the Renegade. I don't
hard.
know.
yeah, the
man.
Renegade. Like if there's a specific something I'm looking for in TikTok and I just type it out, it comes up pretty quick. But if I do that same search on Instagram, it doesn't come up. I have to kind of scroll down and try to find it. And TikTok's kind of just like
China.
Yeah.
that's
No, but it's no. Like I see what you're getting at. I have been told that before. I honestly like. I just use TikTok to like look at the shit that people send to me.
Jonah.
yeah.
So like I haven't gotten
People
to the
being
point.
Joni.
Yeah,
The,
I know,
the
right?
30 TikToks you get a
very
day.
good. Keep it that way.
Um,
Keep it that way, man.
No, because I think I have a problem with it because it just will not adjust to like my preferences, right?
What's your
I don't know.
Your
What
for
are you
you
looking
page
for?
is her for you.
No,
page.
like at least with Instagram, right? You look at my Instagram For You page and it's like, I don't know, like cities, beautiful landscapes, food, cars, like, stuff like that. But for some reason, whenever I was on TikTok,
be honest.
it'll show-
why I get big booty girls.
It's like,
yeah,
why is
no,
all
I
these
swear on my
passages-
life. No, I swear on my life. Like, I swear to God. And the worst part of it is like, I'll get it and I'll scroll, right? And then I get another one and I'll scroll and I'm not interested in this shit. But like, it keeps showing me that, and I haven't given it enough time.
Wait, what does
To
it keep
show it.
showing?
Like
Is
people
it-
dancing, like Renegade.
Oh,
Oh, you're
okay.
back in the 2020 TikTok.
think
you gotta
so,
fucking.
dude.
Yeah.
No,
You gotta
it
go.
hasn't
You gotta
updated.
updated.
We
just
gotta catch
dedicate.
you up.
You gotta dedicate like maybe like 2 hours and
2
just,
hours, dude.
and like a bunch of shit that you
Ah,
honestly
fuck,
like and
man.
manually
don't-
search.
I don't.
But don't do it. though.
Manually
Don't do it.
search and then
Nah.
eventually it's gonna adjust and be like, oh, this is what he fucking.
If there
likes.
was just some way to like transfer my feed from like Instagram to TikTok, like I'm sure I'd be there all day.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But that's how you know it's not like
Business
your thing
idea.
because it's
I
like
think
it hasn't adjusted to you.
it
yet.
hasn't. I haven't given it the opportunity to do it, but
Mhm.
no, it hasn't
Give me a
adjusted
chance,
to me.
please.
China, like Xi Jinping's like, please give me the chance.
Do you think China has some
Like a
master
like a
plan
puppet,
behind
like a-
TikTok?
yeah.
What's
dude.
your theory on that?
I mean, they're just gathering data, man.
But how can that data harm us, or how can they use that data?
Well, they can. Oh man, there's a million ways they can use it, man. It'll like how much the average American spends on their phone, how much or what type of content do they consume. Just really small, menial things that you wouldn't think like are a big deal are a huge deal.
Do you think that TikTok can somehow have access to your phone of other
They do.
data you might have?
They
like,
do. They've gotten sued for that, actually.
That's why
'Cause
they were
I-
getting sued.
I
Yeah, they
think-
got sued for that.
I think there was like, I think that the only way I can see it where it can be a threat to us is like, let's say Chris, or actually let's say you, right? You're a scientist and you're working on some type of virus or
Mhm.
cure for a virus and everything, and you and your team have generated this data
Yeah.
and no one else in the world has it, but now China hacks into you, they get it first, they distribute it out. Like, what if they got the hands on Pfizer and everything first because they stole the data information? I guess
Yeah.
that's the only way I can see it. Where they steal certain data and then get ahead of us. And
I think they could do that if they really wanted to, but I think they're more like focused in the broad, like, how do I say this?
The society.
Just like the broad
aspect
sense of it, right? Like they look at it from a bigger picture. They're trying to look at how the U.S. population spends their time, what their interests are, how they can. Oh man, because TikTok is now banned in China, right? But
that's crazy.
but back before it was, you would see the differences between what's shown in American versus Chinese TikTok, right?
Okay.
So in America, we'd get like people dancing, we'd get like stupid
Bunch of
video-
waste
of time,
Yeah.
right? And China TikTok would be, self-improvement, arts and crafts, stuff that actually like stimulates the brain.
They said, let's ban this.
No, they banned it because they're like, keep the bullshit over there.
Yeah. No,
Don't
you,
let them
you
see
don't
what we're
consume your
seeing.
own drug, dude.
Yeah.
So I think another big part of it is that I think that in a broader sense, they're trying to fill our brains with like crap, with like all this like
Get us
shit.
blind and
Yeah, to like just keep us dumbed down.
fight each other.
Yeah. Yes.
Because
Yes.
I know one thing's like, for example, your FYP, like for, there was a point where the left was having a big fight with the right, and the left kept seeing more of the left, and the right kept
Yeah.
seeing more of the right,
And it just
caused a
polarizes
huge
us.
division.
Yeah. Big time.
and
Big time.
That's probably a huge win for China on that.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So like just ways like
So
that.
how do we get him back?
Oh man.
You gonna weaponize a
Little boy and
strep
fat
throat
man.
for me
Let's
and send out a whole?
super strep.
Nah, dude, like
Go back to that.
god damn. Like how do we get back to them?
What's our main competition with China? Like it just
Technology.
Okay.
I think technology, like they're so far
So like
advanced.
import export
Uh
type deal.
you know what's huge, that they're just like so ahead of us. Obviously, in the modern world, we rely on energy, right? That's like energy is the main thing for us. Kilowatt hour. Like I don't even know how you classify it, but like just the more energy you have, the more energy is available to a country, the better it can thrive. And a way to store that is through batteries. And China is so far ahead of us in terms of battery technology, in terms of production of batteries, in terms of having relations with countries that can get the raw ingredients to make batteries. Yeah, they're just way ahead of us on that. That's why.
Why do you think that is? The U.S. just they don't have a priority in that, or just because we get it?
we just fell behind, man. Being completely honest, we let them, influence a bunch of these countries that mine these minerals. And if you have like first dibs on the minerals that are created to like lithium, phosphorus, like all these different raw ingredients, if you have first dibs at them, then you can create them first. You can invest a lot more into like the research behind it and how to make them better, how to make batteries more like energy dense.
Yeah.
We fell way behind. Like, yeah, of course we have like Tesla here in America, and that's like one of the biggest like battery producers, Panasonic, Sony. But oh man, we're just so far behind in China. China's electric vehicles, it's like half the vehicles that they produce in China are electric now. Half the vehicles that people drive around are electric. Little Chinese like electric cars.
Yeah.
And here we just have like what, Tesla?
Elon had mentioned that if we can get a field of 100 miles by 100 miles of solar panels, that can power the whole U.S.
It could. It really could.
Yeah, but
Where
it
we're
comes
gonna-
down to like the material, getting them and then transmitting that power.
Storing
yeah,
it.
you could technically theoretically power the entire U.S., but transmitting the power is the part where it gets really
Yeah.
difficult.
I feel like we could still do it.
I think China could do it if they really wanted to.
Honestly.
Like they definitely could. Maybe America would take us a couple years to like get there. But yeah, I think we could do it, man.
Unfortunately, I feel like we need something to ground us and get us back focused.
What do you think that would be?
I don't know,
A draft.
A little
little
war here and
a little
there?
war. We need a little red
a little
scars.
a little second draft.
You
bro.
know, like something to get us. We need, and it sucks saying this, but it happened already. Like with World War II, we were in a division before World War II, and that brought us together.
Yeah.
And it sucks to say, but I feel like war. And here's the important thing: being on the right side of what you're fighting for.
Yeah, actually, that's the biggest thing
that's
of
huge
it.
because there's, like for example, with U.S. and Ukraine, like if it were to get bad, like dang, do I believe in what I'm fighting for? And if your country doesn't believe what you're fighting for, that's the beginning of the fall of the empire.
Yeah.
But no, I think we need something like that to unify us. I don't see what else would unify us other than fighting for something that we all believe in. I don't know, maybe an alien invasion.
I think that would be great, man.
Yeah.
An alien invasion.
No,
They're
like,
like,
on
look,
a
bro.
Point, yeah,
on a
that's-
real note, dude, like that would unify the entire world.
Yeah.
everybody fighting against one common like.
You think there's aliens out there?
Yeah.
Okay.
The universe is way too too big for us to be the only people. Actually, I believe in this theory called panspermia, which no, it's a funny name, but basically that means that life in this life as we know it, DNA, it came from asteroids.
I heard about that.
Yeah. So we're in this conundrum that scientists cannot figure out. It's a phenomenon called abiogenesis. How do you make something that's alive out of something that's not alive? Because once you have something that's alive that can reproduce itself, easy peasy. It's easy how you can follow like evolution from that.
But how do you make it?
How do you make it? Because you need DNA to make proteins. You need proteins to make DNA, and you they can't exist without each other. And how does it like? It's so improbable that these like DNA like nucleotides and that these proteins just happen to like assemble themselves and just create life. Like it's so complicated, and we haven't been able to replicate it in any of our studies, right?
Yeah.
We have a pretty good idea of what life was like, or what the environment on Earth was like whenever life was created, and we've run countless simulations, and we cannot get matter that's not alive to become alive.
Maybe that's for our own good.
Maybe, dude.
You know, like what if we start figuring like, we can make anything dead come alive.
Yeah. So, I believe that that life came from asteroids. There's a bunch of bacteria, a bunch of viruses that can survive harsh conditions, such as space, like the vacuum of space, 0 Kelvin degrees, like absolute, like the coldest, harshest environment. Like there's bacteria that can survive it. You guys know what tardigrades are?
No.
What? Tardigrades? Like water bears?
No.
There's like little microscopic creatures that look like bears.
I never heard of that.
I've heard of
They
water
can
bears,
survive the
yeah.
vacuum of space. So theoretically,
What?
if we were to grab tardigrades and send them in an asteroid, and it could reach another planet that's hospitable, like
A couple billion years later.
couple billion years later, we could have
We
like
have a podcast.
tardigrade people. Yeah. So I think the basis of all life within this universe is all DNA. Like there's no other way that life can exist without DNA or proteins. The way we look is obviously going to be dependent on evolution and the specific pressures that a planet put on the things that were alive there. But I definitely believe that DNA is like the basis of life within this entire cosmic.
So we would probably have like other like humanoids type of people that kind of look similar to us.
Yeah,
on
or
another
maybe
planet.
lizard
That's where it
people,
came
dude.
from.
Or
Underground.
Yeah.
I have this theory, dude, that if humans hadn't been the dominant creatures that inhabited this world, it would be birds. Yeah.
Well, because the dinosaurs are birds.
Well, because you think about this, the second most advanced things out there that aren't primates are actually birds. Crows, specifically, are super, super smart.
Can't they speak?
Yeah,
That's
they can
crazy.
understand speech.
I've been waiting for one to drop into my front yard so I can start training it.
Dude, you can.
fuck?
You
Yeah.
can. You can teach them to, like, pick up
Yeah.
your trash.
Yeah, bring me some money or like just
actually,
defend my
that too.
house. Yeah, I've seen
you
those.
can have an army of crows, dude.
Yeah,
It's like,
what do
be
they
nice
call
to
it?
A murder.
A murder.
You can have a
of
murder with you,
Yeah.
dude.
That's
crows.
crazy.
That's so cool.
Walking around
man.
the Glock
Dude, but, like,
Glockless and
imagine-
crows around.
In another universe where, like, the first human, like, got killed off by some dinosaur stepping on him. The next best thing was like, all right, I guess birds are gonna evolve, and we could be flying right now, dude. We could be like doing this podcast,
Damn.
60 feet up in the air.
Just cawing at each other. Just
You think there's do you think there's extraterrestrials already within us?
Within us? Oh man, that's
Like-
some Marvel type shit, dude. But
or,
maybe
like skinwalkers.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know that. Maybe I'm never gonna say no to that
Okay.
because there's always a possibility that there are.
Yeah.
That I can think of. I don't have any theories behind it,
Interesting.
But if someone were to like come up to me and be like, "Show me all these documents," and be like, "This is the proof," I might be like, "Oh, maybe."
I don't know. What if there isn't, but we have created, like we're trying to clone something and it came out really fucked up, and then we created like an alien looking type, and then make an army out of it.
Make an army out of it.
Oh yeah.
You send
How
it
can
to-
we?
you
How
send
can we
it to
weaponize
space,
it?
dude.
No, but I'm saying like what if we created aliens?
Can we weaponize
Maybe,
it?
dude. That is a possibility.
Like if you're here, you yourself,
Mhm.
a year into your industry now, you're thinking about like, yeah, I can probably clone it and whatnot. Like, what makes you think the U.S. hasn't already?
It probably has.
It's just
And no, if you think about it, like there's a bunch of satellites up there that just like break randomly. Like,
Yeah.
they'll get hit by a piece of debris and like they'll get decommissioned because they wear and tear over time.
yeah,
But obviously the stuff that goes up there isn't sterile, especially to like those like extreme bacteria that can survive like the vacuum of space, right? So what if, crazy theory, one of these like satellites breaks and the debris just goes all over. One of those pieces of debris lands on this one planet and it happens to be hospitable for the bacteria. So it just like keeps growing and evolving and evolving. And then years and years and years after, you got more humans. Maybe that's how we got created.
we got made by some alien spaceship that crashed and
Somebody
had bacteria.
coughed on the spaceship.
Freaking Neil Armstrong, dude. It's his fault.
Sweet. Well, man, it was awesome having you. I know
Yeah,
we can
bro.
go on for hours with this. Chris looks like he's ready to go. He's
I'm
been
hanging
telling me
on.
thumbs up, like let's
Alright.
end it.
Yeah.
But no, we're happy to have you on again.
Oh, yeah.
I appreciate us letting you poke your brain.
Hey, man, I appreciate you guys having me
Yeah.
over here.
Yeah, thanks for
This is-
coming, man. I really appreciate that.
Anytime, bro.
Yeah.
But-
Anytime y'all want a round two, man.
Part
Oh,
two.
yeah,
Part
well,
two.
no.
Coming
I'm ready
up.
for it.
Curious
Alright.
on the potential life forms from a cough.
Sweet, man. Well, again, thanks. And we'll see you soon.
See you soon, buddy.
Bye.
All right, bye.